And we are live. If you're watching this live on YouTube or you're watching a replay of this, you know the drill. I'm going to be helping a handful of creators grow their business all the way from client acquisition to service delivery and other cool things in between. If you get value from this video, awesome. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Also, if you're interested in hopping on a coaching call like this, scroll down to the description within this YouTube video, click that link, it'll take you to a page where you can book a call to have a conversation with myself so we can learn a little bit more about you and see if we can help you out or not. Okay, without further ado, enjoy. What up?
What's up, bro?
Ellen, I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Yeah, no. I was like, oh wow, I can actually make this one right now.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
good.
Yeah,
It's
that's
good
why
to
I didn't update anything. Sorry, because I don't know if I was able to make it, but I got a little bit of time.
no, it's cool. I do want you guys to start updating, bro. I want you guys to start like posting in there. Because we do have, I know you guys are here and you guys have been here for like years, but I recently turned my ads back on.
Mhm.
And so we have a new member that hopped in, and I want to make sure that we set the proper expectation and culture for him. I want to make
Okay.
sure, gotta run a tight ship around here. So
Yeah, I got hit with one of the new ones that was like, hey, like learn how to run ads for any business. That's the headline I saw.
yep, yep.
Nice.
That's what's working right now. And then I'm messing around with this Andromeda stuff, bro. I think that's part of what it is, the issue. Um, but right now I'm like working on creating a bunch of ads for that. And then the next thing is I'm going to be launching a new low ticket funnel for videographers that want to work with local businesses. So that's the game plan next. Ideally, man, I kind of want to get like a closer, so I can help you focus on your low ticket stuff. And then Riviera and stuff like that, make a little bit of time. But yeah, bro, what's going on with you? How you doing?
Man, good man. The I mean, I'm just excited about this low ticket stuff too, bro. I'm just like now that like we got Jeremy on the hook, right? Now
Feels good, right?
feels good. Yeah, like putting all that, like he checks in when I tell him to check in, he does what I needed him to do.
Yes. Yes,
And so
sir.
now it's up to us to basically do our job.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I feel good about it, man. I'm ready to go get his first dubs in, easy dubs, and then from there we can get the ball rolling for him. And I'm sure that we get him some dubs, he'll find a way to stay on board.
Yeah.
And then just focusing on my content, just focusing
Yeah.
on the course material, focusing on like the mechanism videos, all that stuff that I need
Yeah.
to so that once we do launch back on, now I'm like ready to go.
Yeah. We'll touch base, man. I'll circle back to you after I talk to
Cool.
Stuart. But are you hanging out for a while or you have to bounce?
Today's kind of busy. I got a few people coming in right now, so I'm probably gonna be in and out.
Okay, cool. We'll hang out for a little bit because we got Stuart and I wanted to kind of meet a few guys. But Stuart, it's good to see you. Jacob, good to see you.
Great to
Uh,
see you.
Mason, we got an MVP joining a special person, man. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Is it you or is it Lauren, Mr. Mason?
It is me this time. It is me, the one and
What's
only.
up, Mason?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you guys doing?
Doing
Doing
good.
good, good, good. All right, cool guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Guys, so for those guys, this is a little bit different. So Mason, so Stuart, this is not normal. This is like very different. And so just to kind of set the framework, Mason has been on these coaching calls like for years now, and then he's kind of been off doing his own thing for like the last 6 months or so because I've shut kind of sort of shut the business down. I've just been focused on the handful of guys that we have, and I recently turned the ads back on, and I don't know, Mason just decided to bless us today, which is cool. And then in terms of Jacob and I worked together back in like 2022. And so he's kind of sort of taking Mason's pseudo role in your particular case, just because of what you're specifically looking for. But I have talked to Mason like one-on-one, and I told him about you. And I told him what's going on. I said, hey, if you want to help out, you can. And Mason also, like, Jacob's got like really Jacob's like really good at the follower funnel, but then there's like Instagram growth funnel holistically. And so Mason's like an expert in that as well. Like that's fundamentally what they use to, do 20, 30, 40,000 per month in their personal training business. So, he's got, he knows a lot about the stuff as well. So I think it's really cool that he's here today. That being said, Jorge's an OG. Who else is here? So Aiden's going to be hopping in. He's an OG as well, Stuart. So that being said, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to hand the mic off to you for a little bit, Stuart, and just, take your time in, introduce yourself. Who are you? What brought you over here? What are some goals that you have? And then most importantly, what is one question that you want to ask? And then I'll kind of go around and maybe pick on a few guys unless they raise their hand and want to answer your question. But go ahead and take it away from here, Stuart.
All right. I apologize if it's a little noisy. It's kid time around the house, so I got neighbor kids running around. So yeah, I'm Stuart. I live in Thompson Station, Tennessee. We're about 5 minutes south of Franklin. Moved here about 4 years ago from Oregon, and was in tech for about 11 years prior, and up to 3 months after I moved here. And I was working for Facebook in their data centers and did a lot of different things. It was a great job, a lot of fun. But 3 months after I moved here, they started laying folks off, and I was the beneficiary of those lovely layoffs. So had moved here, bought a new house, all that fun stuff, and was like, well, crap. Now what am I going to do? And so first, I just kind of floated a little bit, had a little small severance package, and then we ended up. I had a couple of guys that like I bumped into who wanted to make podcasts. So I had done one with my wife prior to that and was like, yeah, I can help you out. And so that turned into another and another. And so I've helped a handful of people now start shows. And at first it was just audio, and then added video, and then multiple cameras. And now I have a studio in Spring Hill, which is just south of me. And we produce shows in there. My main client is Mission X Mission, and they're a nonprofit faith-based organization, and I also produce and co-host a show for them called the Stand Up Dude Podcast. And that's one of the big things we're wanting to target, is just helping grow that, and then also grow my own business as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if I answered the main things of that, but yeah, okay. So my reason I joined the program, though, I want to be able to deliver more than just content to clients that I have. It's been great, like producing podcasts, seeing stuff happen with that, getting socials going, but it's also very slow. So I want a few options. I want to be able to like go, hey, we can promote your show via ads and have it affect the show, that way. But more so say, hey, with your show, we can actually use your show as sort of a funnel as part of like whatever you're selling, if you're selling products and things. Most of my clients are like ministries or faith-based business owners or financial advisors, that kind of stuff. So just getting them to where we can deliver more than just a video for them. We can actually say, hey, here's some results. We can get you clients, get you sales. And that's what I really want to do. So that was what drew me to the program. Saw Kashik's ad and was like, hey, you're reading my mail, so good job. And ended up joining, and now, yeah, today's the first day. But top goals, I just want to be able to strengthen the offers that I have with my business that bring more value to the clients. I want to obviously grow my business revenue, take it from what it's at. My first closer goal is to get to about 20K a month with it. And then with all that, pay down debt. Obviously, losing your job for a few years and building a business isn't the cheapest thing. So I would like to do that. And then mainly I want to be able to build a business that blesses people because I want to be very generous to people. I like to be generous to people. I like to take people to dinner and take them to lunch, that sort of thing. So just want to be able to serve people that way. And then yeah, question I would have for you guys is really what has been your biggest surprise going through what the programs and everything that you've done, and how have you seen it like change your business, change your mindset around marketing entirely?
Solid question. Thank you for the introduction. Solid introduction, Stuart. Um, let me, before I kind of maybe pick on a few guys. I do, Mason, when do you have to head out of here, man?
I have like an hour.
Okay. I think what might be cool while we have you, man, is maybe Stuart can talk a little bit and then I can kind of tell you some of the things that are brewing in my head to help him. And then you can maybe, again, you're probably gonna have to like sit on and think about it. And then maybe you might have an idea tomorrow. But maybe if you have like things that are off the cuff, you're like, oh, I know that this would work really well with the Instagram growth funnel or the DM funnel. Maybe you can share some of those ideas with us. That's kind of Jacob's responsibility to like listen to Stuart and kind of figure out, okay, how do we implement the follow funnel? But I'd love to get your 2 cents as well. Um, the other thing I'll say, guys, and so this is so that was me talking to you, Mason. This is me talking to everybody. In terms of Stuart being here, everybody that's here, Riviera, Jacob, Jorge, Mason, Ronnie, everybody's come in from, you saw an ad, you built a 6-figure, 6-week sales funnel, and then from that you built a niche funnel, you picked a niche and you went into that. I'm doing something very different with Stuart. So when you ask that question, Stuart, you're probably not going to get the response that maybe you're anticipating. It's not like some of these other
Hmm.
programs we've been in. Everybody's been through the exact same like journey.
Yeah.
That being said, of course, there are big lessons. So I just wanted to kind of pre-frame that for you, Stuart, and then also for the guys. But yeah, with Stuart, he's just for you guys to be on the same page. Again, we're still like trying to figure things out, but instead of taking the traditional route, the 6-figure 6 weeks, and then the 7-figure niche funnel, which he's open to, what we thought is he's got a really big client that's paying him a good amount of money, and he's got a good amount of work, and podcasts are a big part of what he's doing. And so he said, Koshik, I have these podcasts and these clients are paying. How do I make my offer so good? How do I make it so valuable that they just keep coming back to me over and over again, where it's like a guaranteed retainer because I'm just providing so much value? A lot more than just filming and creating the podcast, but how do I help them monetize? And so one of the things that I kind of told, again, this is me just spitballing. Again, Mason, Jacob, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But one of the things I thought was like, oh, well, the follower funnel works really good for, B2C. So let's just say, for example, I was explaining to him, Mason, Jacob, what you have to focus on is the back end. Like, what are you trying to monetize? Is it going to be some kind of, thing that you're going to sell for, again, he's a nonprofit, but like, are we going to sell something for $2,000 that, is the funds that he needs to raise, and then this pertains something again to the church, religion, all that stuff. And so now at the ad level you can say something that would pertain to that, like, hey, if you're so and so and you struggle with this and you struggle with that, give me a follow, go through my content, it'll help you out. And so then again you get the followers from that, have a conversation, then boom, you focus on selling that thing on the back end. And so again I was like, hey, like, the hard part is the back end. The hard part is figuring out what is that offer going to be, and then when you do that, you can reverse engineer it. And so that's kind of what I share with Stuart. And he's like, okay, makes sense. And then that's what kind of really got him interested. And it's like, okay, cool. If that works, then we can pretty much do that with all these different podcast businesses. Because when it comes to podcasts, he's creating the content, creating, organic content, almost, posting every single day, staying top of mind, using some, like, that's going to be a walk in the park. Creating call to action stories, like, that's gonna be a walk in the park. And so we're just trying to figure out, can we make the follower funnel work? Can we monetize that? If we can, now he's gonna move on to the 7-figure stuff, where it's just like, now he's gonna sell more of like a coaching done with you offer to these podcasting people. It's like, hey, if you're a podcaster, buy my coaching program, I'll help you monetize your podcast. So hope that makes sense. It's a little bit different than working as an agency, B2B type of stuff. So I just want to kind of throw that out there really quick. So that being said, Mason, that was mostly for you and Jacob. So we'll circle back to you guys, but really quick, I do want to go around and get some answers to Stuart's question. And so, guys, the question that Stuart asked was, um, forgive me if I didn't get this right, Stuart, if you want to rephrase it, but it's like, as you went through your journey, what are maybe some of the biggest lessons that you learned that transformed your business? Was it something along the lines of that, or?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I guess Mason, you can go and start off. I guess like throughout your journeyman, what are some of the things that you learned throughout, like again, going through the six-figure, seven-figure, building your PT, and like how's that like maybe transformed, your business and like where you're at?
Um, I'm trying to like I remember because my angle with this was definitely a little bit different than you, Stuart, but I was someone that kind of came in and had no clue what to do, or I really didn't have any sort of direction on where I kind of wanted to take my business. I just know I wanted to grow it. So I think the first thing is kind of having clarity on what it actually is that you what you want to do. Because for me, and I'm not saying that this was a bad thing to do, but I kind of niche hopped a lot where I was like, hey, I'm going to do this thing and then I'm going to stop and then I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to stop and I'm going to do this thing. And knowing what I know now, all of the things that I previously tried, I know I could have done well in. I just didn't give it enough time to get good at that thing I know I could get good at. So it's kind of like that image maybe that you've seen online where there's like the guy with the pickaxe and he keeps mining and he keeps mining and he just gets to the diamond and then he stops. That was me for like 2 years. So what I would say is in terms of like actionable items, like step one, it's like have your proof of concept and be relentless about proving that it can work first. And then once you build a more of a business to business offer, you'll have the proof of concept first and you have the proof that it worked for you. And it will give you a lot more confidence when you go and sell it to people, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't make sense to business right now. And I kind of did that first and I kind of jumped out of steps, if that makes sense, where I should have done business to consumer first and then moved to B2B. Um, so I would say that's a good lesson. Um, but overall, I would say get really clear on what your offer is. I think that's the most important thing, honestly. Um, yeah, I would say just there will be points in the journey, man, where you'll be like, oh, can I just do this instead? But then you'll realize you're just skipping a step. And there's no shortcut with this. There's no magic pill. There's no, you know what I mean? It's kind of like in fitness. I'm in the fitness niche, right? So it's like, there's people that jump on the next fad diet or take the Ozempic shot and this and that. There's always like a shiny object syndrome. But really, like to get to the 20K per month, it is difficult. It's a challenge, but also it's easier than it's ever been before. Especially with all this new stuff coming out and because AI is kind of, you know, in the forefront of everyone's minds and no one knows really how to leverage that. I think that with you and what you're doing and more of the content related stuff, I think that could be something that would be very beneficial for people and something that they haven't seen before. And I think that can make your offer super different, especially like if you're trying to grow podcasts, like it's basically how many eyeballs can I get as fast as humanly possible. Um, So yeah, I have a lot of ideas for you. I just don't want to jumble them all up and give you 17 different things. So when the time is right, I'll probably tell you. But I want you to kind of lead and tell me what you want first, and then I can help you build what you want and then tell you kind of what your options are when you do that. But I would say, yeah, just clarity of your offer. Don't think about skipping steps and just do the work required and follow the steps in order as opposed to looking for a shortcut because I promise you there's not one. Like the shortcut is just doing the shit you know you should do. Like that is the shortcut.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it sounds terrible, but like that is the shortcut.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's all really good. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what kind of ideas you have too. But I know this hit me the other day is like, the fairy tale like Jack and the Beanstalk, and Jack's whole thing is he's supposed to go and like sell the cow, and he gets pulled aside by someone. He's like, I'll trade you for these magic beans. And like in the story, it grows a beanstalk, but in real life, it's like everything is the magic beans are like whatever the thing is that throws you off the objective. Like you were just saying, like pick it, stick with it, keep working until you mine down to the very last diamond or whatever. And don't stop like right at the diamond before you get there.
Yeah, the good news as well is like if you're working with people that are doing podcasts, you just have to find the right people. Um,
Yeah.
just because I'm just thinking about like the podcast industry in general, it's like 95% of people can't even come up with like 8 episodes. So like if you
Yeah.
find the people that are super consistent, like those are the people that like really know that they need the help because it's not the fact that they're lazy, they just don't know how to monetize it and to get it more views. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you're going to be
Yeah.
working with people that if you could really understand who you're working with too, that helps a lot. Like for example, like one of the things that I learned as well is like if I was to go into like a specific niche, it's kind of nice to be in that niche before, if that makes sense. So even starting your own podcast might be something that'd be beneficial for you. I don't know if you've already have done that before, but just kind of learning how they talk, every kind of their lingo and everything, and how to relate to that person on a more of a personal level, and really understanding their pain points is going to be the most important thing for you, especially when it comes to selling.
I think
Yeah.
with so I think Stuart, the takeaway from Mason is just like what we talked about, which is like step one is we just got to figure out how to monetize the damn thing and have like a
Yeah.
very rinse and repeat formula. And that was the big thing for Mason, when he was in all these different niches, he kind of like figured out a strategy to help out like chiropractors and this person, that person, but it was like kind of sorta. And but then when he went to PTs, he just spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So he knows exactly how to help, PTs. So his kind of next thing that he might be doing right now, him and Lauren, they'll do 20, 30,000 months. I don't know what your peak is, Mason, at this point. And so now he's kind of thinking like, okay, and that's kind of what he meant about B2C. So he kind of mastered that. He mastered that. And so now it's like, okay, if I want to sell a coaching offer to personal trainers, I've done it. I know how to do it super well. And I think that's kind of what he's getting at with you, which is our game plan. It's like, okay, let's use Mission X Mission in order to test out a bunch of stuff. And then once it works, okay, let's see if maybe we can use it to another person, okay, now, okay, we have a coaching offer. And I think that's what he means about like, okay, now you have that offer. And now we can scale that to the moon once we've proved, proof of concept. So I think, he's saying to you very similar things I said to you. And then Mason, just for you to know, man, like Stewart's a pro at podcasts. Like he's like he lives, eats, breathes it. So he's done it himself with his wife. He's done it with other people. He's been doing it for a long time. So he knows that part. The part that he really needs help with is okay, I have these people that come in. How do I help them monetize it? And so traditionally we see things like, for example, like I forget his name, like William or like the CEO of Diary of a CEO. Oftentimes what they're doing is they're running their business with sponsors. That's how they're making a crap ton of money that they're making versus like we're trying to figure out how do I use meta ads, right? How do I use meta ads and do something a little bit different outside the box? And this, I don't know. If I funnel hack, it doesn't exist. I don't know that exists. And so
Yeah.
it's like, what can we do? What can we come up with? And if we figure this out, man, Stuart, I will tell you, you are in a blue ocean. Nobody's
Yeah.
figured.
Whole new
And so,
niche.
yeah, whole new thing. So
Yeah.
just a little bit of information for you guys to both be on the same page. That being said, I feel like I might have messed up your question. So do you want to rephrase your question one more time, Stuart, and then we'll pick another person?
Oh, yeah. Just the heart of it is just what is the biggest thing you've learned in the process of growing your business and marketing and everything else.
Okay. Let's see here. Where's Jorge? Jorge is not here right now. Um, let's go into
I'll say
Riviera.
something super
Yeah.
short on that before Vera talks. Sorry to cut you off, Daniel. But I think this is super important. Um, the problem in your business will always be you. Like, it sounds like the dumbest advice that you've ever heard, but you are always the problem. Like, always. Um, and what I mean by that is like, yeah, you have to take accountability and like, everything is 100% your responsibility. Like, every decision you make, whatever, is like just what makes you who you are or your business what it is. But there will be times where you'll be like, "Oh, I can't figure this thing out," or like, "I don't know how to do this thing," or "I don't know how to monetize this," or "I don't know how to run ads," etc. But like, it's going to be really hard at first. But what I will say is, you're always going to be the bottleneck of your business. And once you realize that you're the bottleneck and you put the work in, regardless if it works or not, you're learning something. And it's kind of like it's like one of those diagrams where it's like yes or no, and as long as you're continuously going down that branch of the yeses and nos, then the smarter that you're going to be about making your next decision, if that makes sense. So you're always going to be the bottleneck, but the thing is like constantly try to do different things because you're always going to get different results, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's gonna be a big part of our conversation today, Stuart, where I just want to get a little bit more clarity so that we're as efficient as we can be. And that's kind of the message I was trying to get across in the voice note. So I think that kind of echoes a little bit what Mason was saying. That being said, we'll do maybe one or two more people and then we'll start the coaching call today. Riviera, really quick, man, like what are I guess like the biggest lessons you've learned throughout this journey that you think somebody like Stuart can take away?
I mean, yeah, some of the biggest things just like sometimes leads is the easy part, and then it kind of exposes you to basically yeah, sometimes leads is the easy part, or leads are just a way of kind of, getting proof of concept. I'm not too sure how entirely it'll translate to you, in terms of what your goals are, but at least for me is like the ability to run ads is like it's like a real like game changer in terms of like being able to kind of vet yourself, vet your business model, whatever you're trying to do, because you can do so many different types of split tests and different types of things and get data back that kind of tells you the health or diagnostics of your business in a way that you couldn't really do with anything else. So and that is just super important. I think it's the game of information, right? The more information you have, the more you make calculated decisions. So it's really like using that, ability and that skill set you're kind of going to build. That's going to give you a lot more insight into your business and yourself. So I hope that
Awesome.
answers it.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I like that.
Okay, guys. Before we get started, so really quick, Stuart, I know I keep saying I sound like a broken record. This is not normal. It is not normal. I would typically everybody that did not and reply below my comment and answer like, hey, these are the things I want to go over. Again, the guys have just been here for a long time, and there are some of these guys I just won't talk to for a few weeks because they're already working on implementing something. But moving forward, especially for you, Stuart, again, just proper etiquette. You want to make sure you type in questions, stuff like that. Some of you guys, again, they've just been here for quite some time. So I just want to say that. And guys, let's put on a good example for Stuart. Let's go in there and leave our questions before the coaching calls on Monday, so he knows what is normal, what is expected, guys. So that being said, really quick, I guess who's crunched for time? Like who has to get going? Mason, I know you gotta get going here soon, but like who else? Like, is anybody like, hey, I gotta get going here in like 30 minutes or so? What about you, Stuart?
I have to be at something potentially at 6 Central Time, so it's 7.
Okay. Okay, so let's just do this then. So here's what I wanted to do with Stuart, with you, Stuart. I want to just hop on and like just get as much clarity as possible, man. I just wanted to like learn more. I wanted to really understand like your task input versus output. So like you've got the submission ministry, and then you're doing this task, and then like what is that doing? How's that helping you, and how's that helping the business? And then again, I'm just gathering data. I'm just getting information. I just want to get clarity. I had one question I thought of. I guess I can go and just get this answer from you really quick, which is just like, how much does he raise on average each year?
I think last year was like 1.4 million or something like that. Uh, they set a goal of like 2 million or something and didn't quite hit it. So they're working on that now. The new COO is going to be helping target that, I think, with greater effectiveness.
Okay. And then how much of that like are they using?
Uh, I think all of it. That's a good question. I would have to truly dig into to know for sure, but I think that all of it usually goes back into funding like the various ministries. So um, they have to use it to some extent, but there are other things like paying for staff, paying for other expenses and things.
Okay. So I I want to spend a good amount of time with you, Stuart, like 30 minutes or so, but like just going back and forth and getting clarity. Um,
Yeah,
but because you're a little bit crunched for time, and then Mason, I want you guys to, since you guys are both here, I want you guys to spend time together because I don't know the next time Mason's going to hop on. Do you two just want to kind of go back and forth? And then Jacob, if you want to maybe chime in, kind of like you three, kind of like just talk and shoot the shit a little bit and see what you guys can kind of figure out. You guys want to do that?
I'm
sure.
open to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, Jacob, I'm assuming you've kind of gone through a few things. Like you've kind of gone through the document, checked out the website, done a little bit of research.
I've been very busy the last few days. I didn't actually see the document. Is that in our group chat? I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
actually gone through it yet.
okay. No worries. So why don't we just do this? Why don't we just kick things off with like you kind of just talking, Stuart, and then from there, Mason and Jacob can just like chime in and maybe ask you a few questions, and we'll just kind of see what we can learn today.
Sure, sure. Okay, so maybe I'll give a high level of like Mission X mission, what they're doing, that sort of thing. So it's like that's the parent organization, and then under it are all of the it's the umbrella organization of all the sub ministries. So like the biggest one is one called Stand Up Dude. It's a website, podcast, video podcast, really, video first, and that one is about almost 2 years old. We've with ads, we've grown the YouTube channel to about 100 and just under 182,000 follow or subscribers, but not all social channels have grown equally. But it's grown fairly well. You can see it on the screen there. So like that's the first one there. There's a bunch of these other littler ones, but this is the main one, and then a safe place online, and then this one is mainly targeting places in like Asia, Africa that it's for women who are in like abusive situations, suicidal, that kind of stuff. So it's initially a chat bot that they end up talking to, but they run ads to like reach people. Then they end up talking to the chat, and then that'll put them on like a conversation with somebody if they need help. Um, it's a little bit on autopilot, I think, but other than just making sure the ads are refreshed. So I'm not focusing as much on that one for them right now. My previously, I was only working for producing Stand Up Dude and some other things with it. But as they've grown, they wanted me to do more for the organization. So I'm kind of coming on and doing like all the ads, all the different sub ministries and things. But really, just those top two are kind of the main ones I'm focusing on right now. The Stand Up Dude one, though, the podcast is growing really well. Like I said, I co-host it with them. We're doing our first local gathering event here in Nashville in the end of this week, I think, and that's cool. That's going to be like something we're trying to push more, is like more local stuff. We want to see it grow to where these are like meetings that happen all over the country. And then the other things will be like retreats, events, weekend events, that sort of stuff, like more bigger item stuff. And then we're building a school community as well. And we've gone back and forth on that. Like, do we make it free and we just fund it with the payment of sponsors? Most of the funds come from larger donors. So the CEO of Mission X, he goes and has a big connection to a bunch of people in Texas and stuff. So he'll go shake hands, kiss babies or whatever, and people give him $25,000, $100,000 checks to kind of sponsor this ministry. And so that's where a lot of the money comes from. But it's cool to get big checks, but it's also like one big check goes and suddenly you're kind of screwed. And so I've been trying to help him also think of like, how can we build in something where it's more like $25 or $50 a month that people are just sponsoring to help us in that. So like if you lose a couple of those, it's not the end of the world, but you get 100 of those and it could be really helpful. So that's part of it. And then the school community will probably charge like between $17 and $47 a month for it. And it'll be, it's just for men. So that's one I think that with the ads initially we can target as our first like proof of concept. Like, can we get people into this that are high value, like high, by that I mean like a good fit for that particular community, that niche. It's available to anybody, but it's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to be in it. We're aware of that. So that's kind of the first thing I want to focus on with that. Building the Instagram page here. Like, this is a good example. So right now I have a guy who's making shorts and things from our longer form content, and he just is using repurpose.io. So he'll post it once to there, and then it's getting distributed to all these others. But I'd like to grow the Instagram. So like the Instagram follower hack seems to be like a decent opportunity there as well. We could use that to perhaps promote the school community. And yeah, that's, I think, I don't know. Is there anything else Kushik, that we discussed that I'm kind of blanking on here?
I think what you've shared is already a lot. And so
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
it's already a lot in terms of, so I just wanted you to talk a little bit, and let's just see if there's anything that Mason grasps onto or Jacob grasps on. Let's just see if there's anything that they have. I know for me, I'm going to just sit down with you. It's all 30, 40 minutes. I'm just gonna ask you a bunch of questions. That's how I'm going to,
Yeah.
my ideas. But Mason, you want to ask Stuart a few questions, go back and forth and see if
Yeah.
they have a few
So
ideas.
my first question to Stuart would be like, and I'm trying to pick up what you're putting down here, but I want to make sure I have clarity. You said one of the things that you're looking to do when joining this program is strengthen your offer, right? When it comes to this client in particular, are you looking to make more money for them? And like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to word this question. Are you trying to increase like the retainer that you have with this company, or are you just simply trying to like grow this business in terms of social media as much as you can, or do you have like a standard rate, or I guess like what's the pay structure? And the reason I'm asking that, by the way, is just because like I know your goal is to hit 20K a month. I'm just seeing like realistically how that would happen with a business like this because
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that's a this in a rude or a bad way, but in terms of like spend, I kind of know how churches operate where it's like they take all of the money they raise and they put it in the staffing, et cetera. And it's like, I don't know what
Hmm.
exactly like what's left for you. So I want you to hit 20K a month, but I don't know if this is the right opportunity for you. So I just want to be like upfront about that. Like how is the kind of the pay structure work with this, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. Previously, I was 5 grand a month, like locked in on all their production. So that
Mhm.
was consistent. Then just bumped up to 8.
Okay.
So it's a decent amount, but it's more responsibility. So I'm working toward automating more of the things that weren't automated yet, and then uh, figuring out some more of the marketing stuff here. That so it's a
When
bit of
you're
both, though. To answer your question, it's a bit of growing their socials and stuff. But then if I can also prove that, hey, because of this, you're growing revenue from things that I guess they can legally do as a nonprofit, then great. It's if when the time comes that I could be like, okay, now that I've done a good job, let's bump that up, another
got it.
grand or two.
Got it.
Um, but then outside of that, it's proving the concept that I could do this for a nonprofit or a business using video content production, podcasts, that kind of stuff. So um, that's what
So
I
when
kind of want to
you
bolt onto my offer is like, can we make
Mhm.
can we make people money or make them successful using marketing paired with content production?
Yeah. So this is interesting. So I know what I would do, but it's later on down the road, so I don't want to necessarily say that right now. But what I would do, I mean, I think the follower funnel is going to crush it for this in particular.
Mm-hmm.
But is there any particular reason that you're specifically working on the stand-up dude as opposed to a safe place online?
Um, a safe place online, mainly a safe place online targets like Asia and Africa. So it's
Mhm.
there isn't as much of a ability to do anything locally. And they
Okay.
kind of have that tuned to where it is, but the CEO, his heart is really the stand-up dude stuff. Like that's what he wants. He wants to reach men
Okay.
and help them. So that
And
uh
what kind of content would you say that he's kind of posting for stand-up dude? Is it because it sounds like and again, I haven't watched any of the content, but what it sounds like to me is it's about men kind of stepping in the role of becoming a better man, but it also has to do with like it's like it's explained in a religious way, if that makes sense.
yeah. It would be um what you described there, like being the idea that you have a creator and that you can step into who you were created to be, and like there's more purpose and stuff. He created it kind of as a reaction to what was the last 10 years or so, where it was really like crapping on men, shaming them for
Sure,
being
sure.
manly or anything like that. And it's not like the hard swing to like a Andrew Tate or something like that, where it's like hardcore men are awesome and women suck. It's not that. It's more like, hey, what's the truth in this situation? So
Got
that's
it.
the kind
So
of
when
content.
you got it. So when you like do these podcasts or sit down, and I know you said you're the co-host, do you guys have like a specific topic that you do every week, or how does that kind of work out?
We do a lot of guests. You can see on the top here, like I don't know if you know Graham Cochran, but he's
Mhm.
big in the music production space. So we just had him recently. He's a faith-based business owner, but like multi-million-dollar success as well. And so he'd be one. Some of them are like this. The guy like Sustainable Rhythm, Soulish Condition. Those guys. That's a pastor who is here locally. Some are authors. Some are we've had all kinds of people, Hollywood producers. Yeah, so a lot of that, and then when we don't have a guest, we'll maybe just do like a teaching topic type of thing or something like that.
Okay.
But if I had to give it like a very short niche, should be masculinity and faith, like where they intersect.
And what would you say like the number one, like if we had to rank like one, two, three, these are the exact goals to do with like the podcast or working with this business specifically, what would you say it is? Like, let me give you an example. Like one is like local events in person, two is to grow the Instagram following, and three is getting our YouTube follower count up or building a system where I'm getting like $27 a month. Like I guess like what would you say is like the priority?
I would probably prioritize it as grow the Instagram following, and maybe from that and others grow the school.com community that we're building. And that would be the 27 a month or whatever, $27 a month program. And
And what would you put inside of this program?
it right now it has a course. One of our COO who co-hosts the show from time to time, he has a course called Purpose Academy that he made, and I think he was charging a few grand for it. So the idea would be like this: you get this course for $27 a month or something. So high value. And then as people grow in the community, we'll get our finger on the pulse a little better and create our own course specific to the community. So, and then kind of like this, where there would be weekly check-in calls and some possibly journaling or something like that that would go along with it.
Yeah, the reason by the way I'm asking these questions, Stuart, is because I feel like the word I keep coming back to again over and over is clarity, right? And it's like I
Mm-hmm.
get what you're trying to do. I just don't see the purpose of it yet, or like how you're going to get people to pay this $27 a month thing without having that clarity of like what they're gonna get, if that makes sense. Now, where I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
see this right now is I know that if you take clips from your podcasts, I think that that can work, but that it has to be done in a very specific way where like the hooks need to be super well, because that's what's going to grow really, really well on short form. Because it's kind of like you build trust with the long form, like the podcast based content, and then the podcast content would also lead into, it would be one of the avenues that would lead into the school group, right? It would be like
Mm-hmm.
an almost like a actual ad inside of the what's it called, where it's like you're teaching this lesson or topic, and it's like, by the way, we just, we have a school community that this is that, and we use the money to do X, Y, and Z. So literally, this is not anything we profit off of, but this is exactly what we do with the money. It's just for faith-based entrepreneurs and men that want to level up and blah blah blah. And here's the things that you get inside. Okay, back to the podcast. Like I can see that working super well once you get people to
Yeah.
podcast, but the way you get people to podcast is the short form.
Mm-hmm.
So what could work super duper well is scripting out what needs to be said, not necessarily in the podcast, because that's always like top of the cuff, like always a thing, but kind of shooting it like short form content first. And
Mm-hmm.
then what I would do is I would boost a lot of posts just to see like what is getting the most traction. And then I would run retargeting ads based off of my best performing pieces of content. And then that piece of content would have a CTA about the school community or the school group. And then I think that would work really well for you. Um,
Okay.
but I think that even if you run an ad right now, like even if you just do this locally, because you could do this in two separate concepts. If the goal is to run this locally and to grow like a really big like local following to a place where you can do like meetups in persons and stuff, like you could run a super simple ad that's like, are you a man local in X area, Tennessee, whatever you want to say, that is, a Christian and they're dealing with X, Y, and Z, and you know that you're have a better call or like a I don't know exactly what it would look like. I
Yeah.
could probably script it out, not off the top of the head, but it's like you want to step up as a man, go to your calling and X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, then follow my page where I help X people explore that, spirituality or realm, etc. And, you know, check out all of our free content that goes over how to better yourself as a man. And I
Mason.
think,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Um, so I want to, before I even ask you this question, Mason, Stuart, like again, my thing is just why? So why is this important? Why is this important? Like, why is that important? Why is getting the followers important? Like, is it important to him? How does it benefit the ministry? Like, why is it important?
Yeah. I think on the one hand, it's important to the CEO probably to grow that. I mean, technically, we have like we get thousands and thousands of views per episode, but on YouTube, that's like our primary thing. Like if anything, we're a video show, and then we happen to repurpose as a podcast. But for him, if I were to answer in Tim's position, it would be like every person's a soul. Every person matters. Like that's it. He wants to reach them in that way. So growing that, but then also it's showing like to the people who are donors that there is the needle's being moved. Progress is happening. Building the follower versus building school first. I don't know. Actually, I wrestled in my mind as I was trying to determine if that was what we were going to do, if that would be better, because maybe school first, and then we just begin promoting it more with the follower funnel. But I guess I was thinking if you are growing Instagram and at the same time then you begin marketing to people about school, that could help. But I mean we have a good 22,000 people on Facebook in our uh, stand up dude Facebook community. We've got 182,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it is there. But because we'll run ads to promote episodes, which YouTube penalizes that. So you don't get any credit for watch hours. You don't get any credit for views. So you're never, if you're trying to get monetized via YouTube, good luck. It's never going to happen because they punish it. So I would like to find a way to make that go away as well, and rely less on running ads on YouTube specifically, and more just on user growth and that sort of thing.
The 180K, you said 180 or 120K on YouTube?
180, just under 182,000, I think, right now.
So when it comes to the YouTube, are you like, do you guys, or is it just episodes, or are you guys taking those episodes and like monetize? Oh, actually, no, my question was the 182, how much of that 182 is from organic versus from paid ads?
I would guess like a good 80% or more is paid. You know, um, I couldn't tell you the exact number, but very close to that.
Okay. So is there any interest in taking, I would assume that your logic of growing the Instagram following and the YouTube following is the same of, hey, uh, we want to serve everyone. Everyone is someone, which is his word. Like that's something his one of his core beliefs. And the second is, hey, to donors, look how much we're growing on Instagram. Look how much we're growing on YouTube. Two different
Hmm.
marketing plans, but same like thing for him. It serves the same
Yeah,
purpose. Would you
yeah,
agree? So it's like
yeah,
whether
yeah.
I do Instagram or the YouTube, similar. It's ticking the boxes for him.
Yep.
Um, so if we monetize the YouTube or if we monetize the Instagram, does it make a difference or is it like the same thing?
Um, I don't. I think it's the same. Yeah,
Okay.
great if it's both, but if it's one or the other, that's fine.
Okay. So here's my question to you, Mason. So imagine like the follower funnel again. Let's just like say we're tackling Instagram for this case. Let's say we're putting YouTube aside. I do think the fact that he's got 180 and like 80% of that is like through ads. Let's just say theoretically, like he's got 40, I don't know, let's just say 20,000 subscribers. That's like a good amount. Like that's a good amount of people that we can like monetize for sure. Um, and Stuart, when I say monetize, I'm just speaking in like marketing lingo. I
Yeah,
understand.
no, I get you, 100%.
Um, so my question to you, Mason, and then also Jacob, if both of you guys, what are you guys' thoughts on, let's just, if we focus on the Instagram growth funnel, do you think, Mason, honestly, do you think that it would be a wise move to run ads, get the followers, start, DMs, hop on a call, and then try to sell them into this Facebook group that's $17 a month or 27 bucks a month. What I was telling Stuart was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And then I was sitting there as he was talking, and I was like, you know what? If we consider the cost per acquisition, maybe it doesn't make as much sense economically because most people, when they join some kind of a subscription like that, it's like, they're there for about 3 months. And just so you know, Stuart, if you have subscriptions, about 3 months.
Hmm.
Versus, would it make more sense to hop on a call and sell something like a 2K package? And again, it's still faith-based and there's still value that they're giving. I guess, what are your guys' thoughts, Jacob and Mason? Like, do you think the school community makes sense, or do you think that it makes more sense to try to sell something high ticket?
Hmm. I mean, for me, it's a struggle, and I'm not. It's just a struggle for me on like what value does the $27 per month community add, I guess.
Hmm.
Because I mean, if really they come in because they're looking to inhale content and everything, they're dealing with spiritual and masculinity issues, which I can relate to an extent, right? Like, what is this $27 a month, which is going to probably, by the sound of it, be on average about $81 you're going to spend in their lifetime value? What's going to get them to stay there, and what's going to be like the real takeaway they're going to have, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where it comes to for me first. Like, because when I'm here, I'm always trying to put myself into the perspective because of like, okay, if I was this person, what value would I really need to seek from this,
Yeah.
right? So I guess a little clarity on that. I know clarity is our word of the night. I feel like would be kind of beneficial on me.
Hmm.
Uh,
You bring up such a good point, Jacob. So let me ask you this question. So it's like, again, that's why, going back to clarity, it's like, okay, why grow the YouTube? Why grow the Instagram? I get it. I understand that. Why grow the school? Is there a reason? Because if there is not a reason, then I think that there are other things that you can do that are going to be a much better use of your time. So
I agree.
can you give me some good reasons why to grow the school? Mm, are there reasons for that that you can think of that are very tangible?
Yeah, yeah, there's a handful. So what we're calling it is like a discipleship community, meaning there's more of a interactive relationship happening there versus just like content to consume. And then there will be like training beyond what our shows, what we would have time to talk about in episodes. And then I think the other thing is just a way to capture the most interested people from our audience who want to take things a step further. So then we have, their name, their email, they're actually seeing us face to face. We're offering a little bit more than what we're doing. And I'll try to, I don't know where everybody is like with all faith and everything else, but so
Mm.
the way that things have been done in the past was, and a safe place online is a good example. Like they're running ads, they're helping people, they're evangelistic in nature, and then maybe you're helping people and they're saying, "I prayed this prayer, I became a Christian." Cool. From a Christian perspective, that's great. Except then what? Where do they go? How do we help them beyond that? And from a Christian perspective, it would be, well, then training, discipleship, church, like that kind of
Okay.
thing.
That
So
that
there's nowhere for them to go over there.
that
In
answers
this
my
case, there is somewhere for them to go.
That answers my question. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. So I have thoughts, but before I say anything, so this kind of, so my mind right now is based off of what you just said, understanding why you want to create it, what is the purpose of it. I feel personally more clear on whether you should monetize it or not. I have a good feeling of what I think
Okay.
you should.
Cool.
But before I say anything, Mason, what are your thoughts? So again, let's just put YouTube aside. Let's say Instagram, follower ad, whatever, the school's involved or coaching pro, whatever. Like, I again, just like maybe you can put the school stuff aside. Like, what are your just like overall thoughts? Like, what do you think makes sense to do for someone like Stuart, where he's like, okay, if I grow the YouTube or if I grow the Instagram, it serves two purposes because every soul matters. And then two, showing the donors, hey, there's progress being met, there's progress happening on both these platforms, and therefore you should continue to fund us and our mission. And a school is a separate thing, which is just like, hey, like the way I'm viewing school is like, hey, this is a place where there's content, there's community. It's a coaching. It's a way where it's
Yeah.
like if they're just watching YouTube content and you're out alone. It's like, hey, let's bring you in. Let's be hands on with you now. That's the purpose of the school. Once you get them there, because you have name, emails, phone number, content, now you can start building an actual relationship where you actually make a difference. That's what I'm gathering. I guess like, what are your thoughts, Mason? And then Jacob, if you have some thoughts.
I mean, I think that from the entire audience that you have right now, it's like you have subscribers, you have followers, etc. You just don't have their information. Like you don't have the name, you don't have the email, you don't have the phone number. I think school and starting your own inner circle kind of solves both issues. And what I mean by that is like if you use school as kind of your first step to see who's actually wanting to engage with you more, those are the people inside of that group that I would reach out to that's more serious about a specific like coaching-ish offer, if that makes sense. Because I think that if what you provide in school is actually valuable to these people, or the content that they watch on Instagram is actually valuable to these people, they'll be willing to give you their name, email, phone number. Now, what you choose to do with that information is really up to you, but I think that would be a huge stepping stone just to get it. You can use it as like a low ticket funnel, except you don't have to pay for anything because you already have so much like eyeballs already. So what I would do is, I mean, you can you can realistically have a school community that's free, but then reach out to all of the people inside there about more of like an actual coaching offer, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
with YouTube, it's like you can't really get their name, email, phone number, but that would be my
yeah,
CTA action in the videos. It's like, hey, we have a entire free school community that goes X, Y, and Z. It's more of an inside look and actually getting to talk to us one on one each week, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. It's free. Here's the link below. Then once
yep,
they have the
yeah,
name, email, phone number, you could reach out to them and just say, "Hey, man, I know you've been watching my podcast, etc." Blah blah blah. It's like, what made you decide to jump on this?
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I was looking for X, Y, and Z." And then from that place, you can kind of filter who you think is like a serious prospect, and then someone that's whatever. And then at some point, if it just gets too big, you can easily just be like, "Hey, guys, it's going to be $10 a month because we're going to add guests on or whatever."
Yeah,
That could
yeah,
be a
yeah.
thing. But I mean, you have so much like, I mean, 180,000 like
Here,
subscribers. It's like I would be able to imagine that if you just put CTAs in that video for a free school community, some people might do it. And
so
that's
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah.
out of those
Yeah.
people, you know that they've been watching your content for a long time. They've seen your most recent piece of content and they like you enough to join school and give you their information. And you're doing that for
Yep.
free. You're not even like running ads. It's all organic, which is really smart.
so
Yeah. I get
uh,
that.
go ahead. If you guys wanted to, sorry, I'm getting a little bit antsy because I want to share cool stuff. But
Okay. Okay.
um, so what I would do, so to me it's pretty obvious, right? So my mind is always, I always talk about this. I always remember I talked about this with you, Stuart, is like the cost of ads will always do this, and you must ensure that your LTV does this. You must ensure that it always grows higher so that there's a delta, right? And so if we look at the ads and we go to a school community, it's just the numbers are just not going to number. If the primary, like, it's just not. The only way the ads make sense if you're primarily trying to raise funds is you got to sell some kind of a 2K thing, in my opinion. That's kind of what I was trying to get out of
Hmm.
Mason and Jacob. I was trying to kind of like affirm that based off their experience because those guys run a lot of that stuff. To me, this makes more sense. Is traffic, you funnel that into school, 100% make it free. 100%. Make it free with course upsells that are paid. Very simple, right? So this is basically something that you share with me. You're like, hey, this that makes sense. And then basically, dude, like everything is about making school the best darn experience that they have.
Mm.
So that means hopping on call as soon as somebody hops in, have a conversation. You obviously their staff members. Somebody is fully dedicated to reaching out to every single person, starting a conversation with them, fully. And I don't know what that conversation needs to be. I don't know how to. Again, you had your experience with me. The purpose of the DM was to get to the Loom video. The purpose of the Loom video was to get you to watch content. The purpose of the content is to get you comfortable where you and I could have an open conversation. Same thing applies. I don't know what that conversation needs to be, but the purpose of that conversation, in my opinion, should be to get them to consume and be a part, right? Like really take advantage, like you said,
Hmm.
disciple, connect. So there needs to be some kind of a bait. There needs to be some kind of a bait that's going to get them to engage. Maybe there's something that you give away. Maybe there's something that you give them worth value. There's got to be something there. And then they're going to start. And again, the moment they hop on like that first weekly coaching call, for example, that first weekly coaching call. Now, again, assuming it's really good, and again, I don't know if it's a coaching call, but it's got to be something that's going to get them hooked and then get them to come back to this over and over again. And there's just going to be a crap ton of time and energy. Again, I know you've got a lot going on. I know this organization got a lot going on. If it was me, that would be my primary mechanism place. That would be the place where I'm warming everybody up. And then from there, now it's a whole bunch of different offers. You can have a coaching offer again because you have all these people. They're all engaged. Like, hey guys, we're launching this cohort for this thing. It's gonna be a coaching program. Who's interested? Raise your hand. You have a thread of 100 people that are like, I'm interested. Every single one, you head up, get them on a call, try to sell them a coaching thing. Another thing you say is, hey guys, for this initiative, we're doing this fundraising thing, and you have a video within school. You drive try and you get people to watch that, and then now you take that into like a funding page. Boom! Now you have a fun thing that you've done, once a quarter. And so again, this is your hub for me. To me, it's kind of I again take this with a grain of salt. I need to sleep on it. There might be some kinks in this armor, but to me, it makes sense where everything that you're doing here is to, again, raise some funds or whatever it is that you need to do. That's where I see the money coming in. If you look at Instagram growth funnel followers, and then from there you have some kind of main chat or something. Again, I don't know if it makes sense. Mason, you can chime in, but I don't know if it's going to make sense to have a person hit up every single, like have somebody DM every single person, get the phone number, and then try to put them to school. I don't know that that makes sense. Maybe it makes more sense to just go Instagram follower content with CTA, and then that starts a ManyChat thing to DM to school. So everything is just funneling again over to school. With YouTube, start creating the content in a way where you have those call to actions and things within. It's like, hey, join the school. We have this, we have that going on. It's 100% free. On top of that, you're going to get this school. Instagram organic. Again, I kind of just said that here. With your content, with your stories, call to action, join school, join school. Everything is just school, 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 school. And the way you can say this, you mix it up like, hey guys, so here's what we're doing. So every so month you have a cool thing going on in school. Hey guys, this month what we're doing is this thing school. So it's going to take the market, and it's a certain subsection of each of the market is going to be interested in a particular thing. So for somebody, so maybe you say, for example, for the month of April, hey guys, for April, what we're doing is marriage is this thing that's really tough and blah, blah, blah. And how do you become somebody that is a leader? What does the word submit actually mean in the Bible? Well, we're doing an entire workshop on that. So out of your entire market of people that are on your YouTube, on Instagram, there's a percentage of people that are like, oh, I want that. Let me join a school just for that. Then for the month of May, I don't know, maybe you talk about, I don't know, off time, infidelity. Infidelity is, I've seen it rip marriages apart, blah, blah. And now there's people that are dealing with that will join just for that. The next month, something for kids. Hey guys, da, 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 kids, blah, blah, blah. And then now again, so you have all these different things that are going to allow you to drive different parts of the market into school. And then once they're inside school, you have different courses, you have different things. You have conversations that get going. And then again, you're gonna have a certain percent of people that are loyal that are going to partake in all these different things that you're monetizing.
Yeah, I like that. That's something we were, I think I told you this, we were wrestling over. Maybe we just make it free. We have funders, donors that can make that possible. It's like $100 a month either way. But sorry, my kids are yelling. I don't know if you can hear them.
No, you're good.
But then just from there, we could either upsell them to a course that we do build, or to events or whatever. And again, it's like, yes, making it help fund their ministry is part of it, but it's not necessarily even their first aim. So that can even be a secondary thing to simply getting the right people on the bus and getting them excited and getting them involved. So I think
Yeah.
if that were the case, then everything else would be a cakewalk.
I think so too. So yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Again, let me sleep on it. I will get back to it, my thoughts. But Mason, Jacob, do you guys have thoughts on what I just shared, and me and Stuart just kind of bounce back and forth?
I think we're
Yeah,
on. Go ahead, Michael.
sorry. I was gonna say I agree with it. It's make your free stuff better than everyone's paid stuff.
I
So
like
that's
that.
what it boils down to for me.
Mason, thoughts?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you have a very interesting niche. Feel free, by the way, to like monetize other people's audiences as well. Like if you have guests and you're like, oh, this is like a guy, like boost those posts for a while just to see. But I would say when it comes to definitely track your numbers because I would be interested like to see. I know Koshik was kind of saying like, hey, I don't know if it should be like a many chat thing or a content with a CTA. I think it should be both. So when someone follows you, automatically shoot a message off and just ask them why they followed or what kind of content that they found interesting and what they want to learn more about. Then
Okay.
when they respond to that message, you can kind of be personal with them and be like, "Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. We actually just did an episode inside of our school community about exactly what you're just talking about. It's 100% free. Do you want access to it?"
Yeah.
And boom, you have
Maybe
their name, email, phone number.
maybe that person that's in here, I don't know, maybe this might be way too much because of how much traffic you're going to drive, but maybe the person that's here is in charge of when somebody gets inside of school. Starting like you just have one central person where 24/7 there's just conversation, relationship. They're fully tuned into what you guys are doing on school so that they know how to take all these traffic sources, like the people that come from these traffic sources, and then get them funneled into school. That's their only job. And then once they're inside school, well, then you or whoever is responsible for, doing that to do some funding. Again, this is the second most important. It's not as important as obviously like what you're talking about here. But the byproduct of this, I think this will naturally just happen. It will
Yeah.
because people just want to support, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, Stuart?
No, no, I think all of that is very good
When you have
feedback.
the emails as well, it's like you have an unlimited amount of times to hit them up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if you just get, I mean, chances are you'll get thousands and thousands of emails, but if you just take those and like have like a weekly newsletter or a bi-weekly newsletter for like one that every episode comes out and two just like something that's valuable, like just generally, I think that
Yeah.
can work super well. Just because people
Yeah.
like will be more likely to go to that podcast or they don't know a new episode dropped, etc. It's like it's a super simple plug to just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting the name, email, phone number for free, but use that to your advantage as well. Where it comes from, yeah, you can call the people and hit them up to see if they want to buy a coaching offer, but also like create a huge email sequence and then maybe even one just once a week, or I don't know how many podcasts you drop one like a week or whatever, but it's like always update that over and over and over again. Then just naturally the view count will just go up because they're constantly like either seeing it from being subscribed to you on YouTube or follow you on Instagram or seeing it in the school community or getting an email from you. That there's more touch points, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 We do the episode newsletter every week. So we have that, but trying to get more people to actually sign up for that. But you kind of hinted at it too. But the problem with like YouTube is you don't own your audience. YouTube owns your audience. So it's getting as many of those people to give you their information so that were you to lose your channel for some reason, which happens more often than you'd think,
Yeah, that's why
you
like
can reach them.
starting yesterday, it's like I would already just create the school community,
Yeah.
like for
Yeah,
sure.
it's actually 90% there. It's like maybe 95.
Beautiful.
It's
Yeah,
very
because
close
like
to done.
I would just make sure that like you're always plugging that in to whatever you're saying at least twice.
Yeah,
One
everything.
toward the beginning and then one toward the end of the podcast, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when it comes to Instagram, I've been checking out Brian Mark's stuff, man. His stuff is so good. He recently was talking, and so obviously that's got to be a big focus for you, Stuart. But one of the big things they were talking about the new algorithm is like the key is a retention of above 50% for the first 3 seconds.
Oh,
And so long as you can do that, that's going to make things substantially like the chance of it going viral. So like and so that goes back to what Mason was saying, which is like, hey, film and try to get those hooks. Try to really
Start with the
ideally,
hooks. Yes.
and what kind of
Yes.
a hook will get people to stay for 3 seconds, and then you create some kind of an open loop, as you know, right? I'm familiar with an open loop,
hmm.
so that they have to continue to listen for at least 15 seconds to get that answer. And
Hmm.
so every piece of content, that's what my strategy would be for Instagram, every single piece of content.
Yeah.
Um,
I think because we've been repurposing stuff too, and we've been allowing this other guy to do it. I'm probably going to take more of that in too and have my main editor do it, but it it's not always like the best. Like, but also trying to find clips while cool. I think what I want to do is shift toward intentionally creating content directly because it's just a little more controllable.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. Um, so yeah, teamwork. It was fun. It was
Yeah,
fun.
this is great,
Yeah,
guys.
pay attention, Stuart, by the way, to like the social media trends as well, because like um you'll see some like this is literally what I do, and it works amazing. Um, every once in a while there will be some sort of social media on trend that just takes off, right? And it doesn't
Hmm.
even matter like what niche it is, as long as like it follows the format of that video. Okay, so like for example, there's one. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, but one of the things is kind of like having a before and having like an after. It's like, oh, this is the this business coach makes less than 10K a month. This business coach makes more than 10K a month. And it's like he'll say some sort of piece of advice and then he'll say the better piece of advice. And they'll kind of go back and forth and like a
I've
split
seen
screen,
those
if that
ones.
makes sense. Like that, you take that, take your industry and then make it applicable will work really, really well for you. And once you find that kind of thing that works, double down and just continue to make the same pieces of content in different ways. Does that make
Mm.
sense? So, for
Yeah,
example, it's
yeah,
like top 5 mistakes that Christian men make when it comes to marriage.
yeah, yeah. That's good.
Or it's like, oh, I don't, oh, my life's hard, so I got to make my wife's life hard. And then this one's like, happy wife, happy life, ha ha ha. Like, and then this one is like, I am the leader of my family. I have to challenge my wife at some things to make her a better person. It's kind of like you go through that
Mm.
thing back and forth, and then at the end, you're like, or you just take that post, you boost it, and then people will follow you if they find that content. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah,
try to like hunt for trends and then make it applicable for your niche. And
yeah.
like for example, one of them that's going on right now that would work super well for you is something called blind ranking. Have you heard of that before?
Mm-mm.
It's like let's say you're just like sitting down in your podcast like on your desk right now and I ask you a question, Stuart, and I'm like, "All right, favorite candy scale of 1 to 10 Starburst." Then you'd be like, 7. I fuck with the pink ones, but the orange ones are kind of ass, so that's why I'm gonna rank it a 7. And then you're like, okay, what about this? And you're kind of ranking it. That's a really good hook, and it will get people to watch throughout the entire thing, especially if the topic is something interesting. Like obviously, I'm just like bullshitting or just kind of giving you like something, but that content style would work super well for you potentially because it's something that it's proven to work just from the format, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you
So
take
the
the
idea is like
format,
you're just having them rank something.
the hook is the format. The hook is always the format because it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Some people always watch it. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
So you just take your niche, take your topic, and then use kind of the format of the video, and then it's going to perform well no matter what.
Okay. Yeah.
So, um, on the topic of ads, I know you guys are talking about organic. So here's another thing that I thought of, and again, this is what happens. That's why I say always wait, because I will just think of ideas and I'll send them over your way. But one thing is, let's just say you have the Instagram growth, Instagram ad, follower, content, whatever, conversation. Another thing that we should split test is add directly to school. And then what I would do if I were you is I would measure both of the behaviors and see who's more engaged. This way, okay, is this person like what is that archetype and what is that archetype? And then boom, I would just kill off the one that is not as engaging of a person. That's what I would do. So I would do both of these and then see which one performs better.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, other things that you wanted to discuss. And so if this is the case, right, let's just say theoretically this works really well, right? And I would not be surprised because yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if this works out really well because Instagram follower, you have a conversation, but it's like you can you sign kind of the same thing. Add school conversation, right? Build that, get that person nurtured up, less steps here. And if it does work really well, well, then what you should be focusing on when it comes to Instagram is the stuff that we just talked about, the stuff that you're talking with Mason, of like that viral stuff. So when it comes to Instagram, it's just viral. When it comes to YouTube, again, that's something you've been playing around with for a while to get that stuff to go as viral as possible. So yeah, Instagram. So if this works, then when it comes to Instagram, all you're doing is focusing on this stuff right here, those viral hooks. And then again, YouTube is just YouTube. And that's it. Pretty simple. Kind of right.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Other things that you want to discuss, Stuart?
Um. Well, I know we've hit on all the stuff for like Mission X and everything. I do for my own business. I do want to work toward, as I said earlier, like building this into something that is a provable concept, even if it's not for a nonprofit. And ideally, it's not. But then I really want to hit people with like, hey, we can produce your content. Maybe it's not podcast. Maybe it is just social content, reels and things. But they're coming in and doing that, and then getting that into, hey, we can promote your stuff through ads or make the free brand video or whatever the thing is that gets them in. But um, I want to find the way to do that, but target like the people, like the clients who I think would be the good fit for the kind of stuff we do.
Yeah. I think I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about that as well. I was thinking to myself, well, like theoretically, let's just say this works. This could apply in that case as well, right? Because you're still doing YouTube, right? And you're still like your mechanism is like, let's just say theoretically, we spend the next 6 months at this, really cracking and making the school thing really work. And so you're like, I understand how to use school because that's going to be the tricky part. I feel like everything else is going to be actually pretty easy. I feel like once the ad is created, you get better at organic. Like the hard part is just going to be, okay, what needs to be said and done in school in order to monetize? And let's just say theoretically it works really well. Well, now you have a copy and paste mechanism. So every person that comes in through the door, it's like, hey, part of my system is Instagram organic, ads to school, YouTube. And then when it comes to school, here are all the different ways that we monetize. Here are the things that we do. And these are some of the plays that we run. And you can apply it to your podcast business as well.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't even say this to you, I think, for Kashik, but I had somebody I was going to test this with, but just producing a course for them because they were a friend who has a massive like social media following, and they were going to team up with some people, produce a course. So I had like pitched them on the profit sharing things, or like I would take what do you call it, ownership in it at a cut rate to produce it. So that was something I was thinking too. Is like with any of these people, maybe it's that, maybe it's like for everybody, I build a school community, and there's a course, and there's we're running the ads and we're driving people to your course, and some people have $5,000-$10,000 courses in school, or $500 a month courses, or whatever it is in there. But I would love to do that and figure out how to add that as part of the value proposition.
Yeah. So if I heard you correctly, the thing that you just mentioned right now, the thing that I heard different than what I said to you was you throwing in there like profit share. Is that the difference?
Yeah, that was just a previous client, but that was a possibility of something I had thought about before but never executed on. I was like, well, if I could do this and I could float it and be able to like produce something, get it made and launch it quick enough, and then go, because they already have the audience, they've got um, a good likelihood that their course will do well. Then that might be something else too. So, but
So
from
you're
this, I
saying
guess I could figure that out.
so you're saying that this person has a big following or they don't have a big following?
This person does, although their Facebook following they just lost, but they're like in the what was it, travel niche. Like they were a family that RV'd and everything, so they still
Okay.
have their Instagram, but their Facebook got toasted somehow, and so I don't know if they're going to get it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were going to bring in like 2 or 3 other people that they know in that same niche who also have large followings, and just go, yeah, we'll make a mega course. And one person will talk about how to do make money with Instagram. Another person will talk about it was all about how to make a living doing all this, because that's mainly what these people do.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, we can talk about it. I have to sleep
Yeah.
on it. My thoughts are
It,
that,
it's neither here nor there for me right now. It's just kind of
okay.
throwing it out there. It's like I thought about this, but maybe that's something down the road with clients. Like, oh yeah, we'll build, like, maybe that's the later on. Would you like to also add a course to your to
Yeah.
your deliverables?
I think you have to have a proven, this is back to Mason, like you have to have a proven thing where it's like they can't kind of like pick and choose. It's like you have a proven blueprint. And so maybe school's a part of it, of course is part of it. So for me, for example, with Jorge, he hopped out, he'll probably hop back in, but like built for him the same thing, that the same way you met me. So it's like, hey, dude, here's what we need. We need this low ticket course. I need you to create a course within here. I need you to have a mechanism video. So everything I did with you, I'm helping. So it's like that's my formula.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like you
I
have,
like
you
that.
have to have a formula that just works, and then from there, everybody kind of gets the same thing. The other thing I was going to say is about profit share. Is in my experience, again, I have to sleep on this, but in my experience, it's like what I like to do, and I kind of explain this to you, is I like to get people into a coaching offer, and then after like the 6 month mark, then at that point, then I'll maybe do profit share with people. Um, in this case, because like somebody might have a crap ton of following, but then they suck on the monetization part, and then you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, yeah,
So the way I would say, and so this is why again I have to sleep on it, but like maybe another way you say is like, hey, look, here's the two packages. We have this coaching offer where it's done with you, and then we have a coaching offer with the profit split. So this one maybe is, you know, $5,000, and then this one is like $3,000, but with the 3,000, I get a percentage of all the sales. I'm more hands-on.
yeah.
So, or you just say, hey, or your offer is just like, hey, it's $5,000 for everything plus a percentage of everything thereafter.
Hmm.
This way you guarantee again you're going to be safe.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's neither here or there right now. I think that right now the main thing is us just figuring out the school thing and figure out how to monetize that. That's going to be the main thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll see where it goes. We'll see how things go, and then you know, one step at a time.
I would say if school, if we just added like 100 guys to school in a short period of time, Tim would be like doing backflips. He wouldn't care if they were paying or not. And so same thing where it's like we can make money, but we don't necessarily have to make money for him to be stoked
Happy.
for it. But I would like it to become something where it self-sustains so that we could go, oh well, we're going to hire somebody based off of the money that's coming in from this, so we can run this a little more efficiently,
Yeah.
just so
And
I'm not having to do all the work.
yeah, no, I hear you. I'm on the same page as you. And I think that, you know, you probably are picking up what I'm throwing down is that it's the getting the people there is going to be a walk in the park. Honestly, it's going to be so easy. Like that,
Hmm.
like so easy. Um, but what I'm trying to do in this case is I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone of like, let's challenge ourselves to see if we can monetize. Because if we can, that's going to serve you down the road when we try to monetize, when we try to create this offer for podcasters, you
Yeah.
know? Instead
Yep.
of just like, sticking to just getting, school built, it's like, no, 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 let's figure out how to monetize this stuff so that it serves you down the road in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that a lot. That's definitely what I want to do. I'm curious if Jacob has anything more because I know we kind of talked a lot, but I was just curious if there's anything popping into his head.
Jacob, you got anything for Stuart? Anything that's top of mind for you?
Not at the moment. I'm just soaking it in a little bit more. Um, but not at the moment, question wise. I'll think like a sheik. I've got like marinade. I've got literally 3 pages worth of notes. Actually,
Oh, cool.
like 6 pages worth of notes here. I got a lot of I got a lot of pages of notes here. Sorry, actually, yeah, no, 3. So I've got 3 pages of notes, four
Awesome.
notes.
Are most of them like, what is wrong with this guy? No, I'm just kidding.
Not at all, bro.
This
Not
guy's
at all.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, that.
So yeah, just so yeah, I mean, I don't again, Jacob he's got that fall, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about that. I don't know if you have to head out, Stuart. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit, or you can watch the replay and kind of see some of the things that me and him are talking about. Maybe that'll kind of, get
Yeah.
some ideas for you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this doesn't even pertain, like I said, maybe this doesn't even pertain to the follower stuff.
Yeah.
For like what we're doing here. Because again,
Yeah.
we're gonna test out two different ad strategies and see which one performs better in this particular
Yeah.
case.
I think I can stick around because my wife ended up just taking my daughter to this thing. So I think I'm good to hang.
Cool. Anything else that you wanted to go over before I swing over to some of the other guys? And by the way, this is what I do. I'll hang out with you 30 minutes or so. In this particular case, we're a little bit longer just because of, most of the guys are gonna be a little bit faster. And then I circle around at the very end. And obviously you can chime in and ask questions. I'm working with the other guys.
Yeah. Yep.
But anything else, Stuart?
I'm good.
Cool. How are you feeling so far?
Good. Good. Yeah. This is good. I like the collaborative nature of it.
Good, good, good. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So let's see here. So I think Mason, something. So Ruby had to head out. Mason had to head out. So who else do we have here? Um, pretty much just Jacob and Ronnie then. So Jacob, I'll pivot over to you. But before I do, Ronnie, do you have anything that you wanted to go over? Questions, comments, concerns, anything? Or are you good?
I'm good for right now. Just taking in the information that you guys are sharing.
Okay, cool. So no questions?
Nope, not at the moment. If anything comes up, I'll keep you guys in the update.
Okay, cool. All right, Jacob, let's talk. What is going on, man? So remind me of like the suggestion I gave you versus what you've been working on in terms of your
Well, I've been doing both, but I would it be easier just to pull up like Ads
Yeah.
Manager or
So yeah, pull up ads, man. I do want to see like the ads that you're talking about, but before we do, just remind me what were the things that I
yeah.
said to you?
Yeah, you told me to basically run lead DM campaigns, um, and using some of the creatives that have worked in the past.
So I think so I my memory's a little bit fuzzy, but I think I said use older creatives
Mm-hmm.
to do a different pocket.
Right.
And then what else did I tell you? I remember I told you three things.
Um,
And then I think I said try DM ads after that.
I thought I thought you meant to do DM ads with the different creatives,
Maybe. Um,
but I am doing that technically, so
so try DM ads with proven older creatives. Okay, so I do remember that. I remember telling you try the DM ads. I remember telling you that. Was there something else I told you? Was it the 6 weeks, or was it just something else
six
I told
figures
you?
6 weeks was the one you said that if all else fails, try that.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So that is jogging my memory. Have you tried these or are you trying something else?
Um, so I've ran the DM ad with a piece of creative. I only have one real ad piece of creative that was DM focused. And then I've also ran the follower ads with kind of set up via the Andromeda style, like they're really going for, like 14 different pieces of creative. I've had yapper content in there, which is just me yapping to, my cell phone with the basic hook up top. Best performing ones took that and put that in there. Tested against some of the more professional ads, like has worked in the past. So far, there's definitely definitive winners, and it's mostly yapper content. So one is actually you're in Columbus, Cameron Mitchell. So one is talking about what we can learn from Cameron Mitchell. Dude's visible everywhere. What the hell are you doing not being visible? It's kind of like the messaging in it. Another one is Google headline. Google is screwing everyone again, and talking about how they're going to start taking away mentions of staff members and stuff like that to reduce incentivization for reviews and being a lot stricter on what reviews go up and things like that.
Okay.
And what was the last one that had that? What was the angle on the last one, the winning one right now? I can find out.
No, it's okay. I get it.
Yeah.
So my question to you is so how much have you spent?
So on the DM ads, for some reason, it's spending very, very slowly. Like it's been going for definitely longer than like a few days. It's not really got anything though, but it's only reached like 834 people, which is kind of unusual. Spent only $55, and I think I started this almost a week ago, which is why it's so weird. I mean, the click-through rate it's good on paper and everything like that, but
So you're getting clicks on it. And you spent 55, you haven't gotten a single DM?
I've gotten DMs. It's just like, and this is the other part that's kind of like a bit hazy, is like the keyword just triggers like my VSL to go out,
Okay.
right? So and it just sends them the VSL, and then we follow up with them in post. Because that's just the way it's been. I've kind of done things for a while. I might be doing things wrong. I guess I don't really know lead DMs like this in a way. So I was
So when
kind
it
of
comes
just running.
so when it comes to the DMs, how many DMs have you gotten?
Here, let me pull up on here to find out. Actually, it'll tell me right on my phone. Give me a sec. I think I've gotten like five, and so far none of them have responded. But they also don't look like they've been super good fit people, like they're musicians and people like that. Um,
Okay. So what's your cost for like a qualified uh follower? Do you know?
8 total. 8 total.
No. Like what? Oh, 8 DMs is what you got,
Yeah, I've got 8 total here.
but none of them have responded.
No.
Okay. Um, so what is your cost for like a good follower? Back, again, when the leads were coming in originally, they were really good. How do you know by any chance like what is the cost per qualified follower?
No, I don't know a cost per qualified follower. That's kind of hard, I feel like, to measure unless we're talking about look at followers that actually book into calls, or say they're business owners, and we don't really have a solid way to track that per se. Um,
The reason I'm asking is this, if you have some kind of a number, then you can compare that to this and see whether this is even making sense or not. So for example, let's just say for you to get a really good follower, that's $100.
yeah,
Okay, well, you haven't spent enough money to get, to test this against that. That's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm asking these
yeah,
questions.
I know. I pick what you're throwing down 100%, and it's very that's just the thing. It's like I said, that's a little bit. I feel like harder of a like. I just have it on my KPIs, honestly, to perfection. Either is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be the first to admit that. Like, KPIs are not my specialty,
So
I would say.
what you're gonna want to do, man, is like you need to have some kind of a way to measure this and see if this is even working for you, right? So again, that's on you to figure that out, man. So you have to like, however you want to do it. Like, let's say, for example, you go to your Excel sheet of all of the sales calls that you've had or that have initiated a call with you, like booked a call, and you say, hey, look, it's cost me $100 to get a conversation going with somebody. Okay, cool. You compare that to this number right here and apples to apples. And that's how you kind of make your judgment. So right now, if your cost per, one of these calls is like, I don't know, $500, you're like, hey, that's ridiculous. But then back in the day, it was $100 and then this is $100. Okay, cool, man. We're in business. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
you gotta do your numbers and figure that out. I can't do that for you. That's for you to figure out. But I hope the logic is making sense. That's the only way that you would deem this is or is not working.
yeah, yeah. I mean, do I keep the follower ad running then, or should I add more creative to it to kind of match what, you
So
know?
so we can talk. We can talk about this stuff, which is what you're doing. I just wanted to bring this up as like, hey, you spent 55
Yeah.
bucks. How do you even know what's going on? How do you not be emotional about it? How do you like logically make a decision? And that's all I'm saying. So for the DM stuff, I'm not saying turn it off or turn it on. What I'm saying is you need to have some kind of a way to determine if it's good or not, an objective way. And the only way
Gotcha.
to do that, I think, is for you to go to your follower stuff and then somehow aggregate that data and then compare apples to apples. So you take all of the people that came in through the follow funnel, and again, you look at like who's like a good fit, who's like qualified, or who booked a call with you, and then you compare that to this. That's all I'm getting at with this. I'm not saying turn this on or turn this off. All I'm saying is have a way to compare. And
Okay.
the reason
Makes
that's
sense.
important is because a week down the road, then you can say this is or is not working.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
Okay.
sense.
So that's that in terms of this one. If it hasn't spent money, that much money, um, I don't think you have that issue, but like usually whenever an ad set is not spending money, you just like jack up the ad spend by 10x, get it to start spending money, and then you bring the budget back down, and typically that seems to do the trick. But you know,
Hmm.
let's talk about so like I mean, where are you at in terms of the stuff? So it sounds to me like what you're saying is, hey, Kaushik, my theory is that my ads are broken because of Andromeda. I just need to have an ad set and throw a crap ton of creatives in there, and then that should get things up and running. Which
So
for me,
it's not. So what it was to give you the background, Kushi, because I want to make sure you have the full picture of
yeah.
everything, like how I came to this, not just doing things based on how I felt things should be. So we have a guy that basically is doing very well. This is the same thing he's doing. So basically, like, he's doing this exact setup for his stuff. I've got the call recorded where we went over everything in his back end for his ads and everything. And yeah, he's the only one. The only thing is his bottleneck then is he's getting booked calls, but he can't sell anything worth of crap,
Hold on
right?
before you continue.
Yeah.
This guy that's doing this, did he have the same issue as you where things just like started tanking? And then two, when did they start tanking for him and when did they start tanking for you?
See, this is so start tanking for me. I mean, realistically, November was pretty hard, but it really started tanking here in the last month. Really hit. That's when everyone started getting it. Like, you know, and everyone's like, "Hey, has anyone noticed that they're getting a crap ton less response?" Now, I've had other people that are heavy hitters are making like 30K, and they said similar things too about the time as me in November. So that's why I'm like, yeah.
Andromeda.
I don't know if that answers or not. Hopefully it does. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't just make a blind decision. I made sure to do some research and be like, okay, what's viable that I can test here? And so far, it appears to be working far better than what was going on.
So when it comes to your buddy, the one that, initially kind of test this out, um, did things tank for him as well? And then they start picking up?
No, he did this, just kind of did his own thing with it, and it
So his
appears
results never tank. That's what I'm getting at. Did his results tank or no? If we start
no,
working.
no, that's what I'm saying. He's just kind of did his own thing and somehow avoided this whole thing.
Okay, the reason that's important, hopefully you understand what I'm putting down, is that we
Yeah.
don't know whether. So let's just say theoretically he's running ads, things tank, and then he sets this up and then starts working. Okay, then we know that Andromeda is the solution. Versus if his results were good and then he set up Andromeda before results tanked, then we don't know if it's Andromeda, like that's the solution or not. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to get at. That's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so because I've got, like I said, I've got the call recorded. He basically laid it out for me like, yeah, I've been doing this just like, I took my normal ads off and I started throwing all of my stuff in Andromeda 'cause I heard this somewhere and now it's working. Like dude, his stats are way better than even mine. He's where he's getting out in Houston. He's
So
got,
So
yeah.
when you say things are working well again, define that for me. What is your cost like? Is it your cost per follower went down, your cost per response, and the DMs went down? Like
My
how
cost my cost per follower went down for one, cost per profile visit went down, as well as, just the people that are coming in and responding on the different pieces of content are generally actually business owners. Now, are they qualified yet or not? We're 3 days into this, so you know how kind of conversational funnels can take a minute too.
yeah.
So that, and we're adding in, obviously the DM elements to it that I'm working with another person on, and that's getting the response rate up a lot as well. So
So yeah, man, like to me it sounds like, I mean, if you want to keep the DM stuff up, like keep it up. If you want to shut it down and just focus on follower stuff, just focus on follow. I would not be surprised, man. Like this is something I've heard through uh, you know, like multiple sources. Even there's even a mastermind that I recently attended, and like that's all they're doing. All they're so again, this guy, I don't know exactly how he does it, but like from what I was taught, you have a campaign, it's an ABO campaign, and then you have three ad sets in there. Are you doing things that way, or are you just in the boost button? I would assume that you're setting up in.
this time I did. Traditionally, we just use the boost button. That's what's worked golden for almost 2 decades. You know, I think that's what Brandon Forbes originally kind of did back in the day, and that's what even was our method and was working for me for a long time.
So
Don't know the exact reason why, but it just is better from what we could tell from
yeah.
metrics.
So I'll share with you like what I've heard.
Yeah,
Uh, and this is stuff that, if you want to relay this back to that guy in that community, you're more than welcome to. But this is what I'm seeing work right now for these people that are using the strategy that you're using. So you have
yeah.
one campaign, it's an ABO campaign. You have three ad sets in there. Ad set one is open, it is broad. Ad set two is going to be interest stacking. So you're going to stack a bunch of interest in there. Ad set three is going to be a stack of your lookalike audiences. Okay.
Broad. So a broad interest stack
And then lookalike audiences.
and look-alike.
And it's a stack of lookalike audiences. So again, you take all of your book calls, create a lookalike of them. Take all the people that are qualified, book, again, all those different things. And
I'm
then,
curious, like on that Koshi, not to interrupt you,
yeah.
for that look-alike audience, like I've booked in quite a few calls this year, but like, how would I get that data to even create a look-alike audience off of that?
Don't you have their emails, or you don't have their emails?
I do have most of their emails, yeah.
Yeah. So you just create a custom audience you create a custom audience of all those emails, and then you create a lookalike audience of that. You can't.
So just export it. I mean, there's probably not going to be like, but maybe 100. I
Yeah,
mean, is that enough data?
you can try. I don't know if that's going to be enough. You can,
Okay.
if it were me, I would do that, because that again, the more data you have, the better. Like it's not going to be wise to use a lookalike. I mean, that's going to serve you better than a customized of people you've hopped on a live sales call with, right? Because that's going to be a smaller audience, and the purchase is going to be even smaller. So I would start. I feel like one of the best ones you will have is going to be that list of 100 people. Like that's going to be a strong one. The question is just, will Facebook serve it?
Okay.
And then the next part you've already done, which is, and you've noticed this as well probably, which is you throw in, I think what I've seen is, I think it's 25 to 30 creatives in there. 25 to 30 creatives, 5 headlines, and then 5 copy.
All right.
Okay. And so what you do is, again, you have basically, let's just say 25 creatives in there, 5 headlines, 5 copy, mix and match. You have a whole bunch of stuff. And then what I've seen is that what's going to happen is you're going to have 3 of those ads, one, two, 3 of those ads take a majority of the line share. I don't know if that's been your experience. I would not be
Free
surprised.
ads.
Boom, exactly, bang on. And then what's going to happen is the other 27 are not going to get much spend, sometimes even pennies, but you do not want to touch it. You do not want to turn anything off. You do not want to do anything. Obviously, all those ads go into each of the ad sets. And then what's going to happen, from what I'm seeing, is that you have so much more longevity. Creative fatigue is going to take so much longer. Like you're going to get like a solid, like, dude, you're going to get a solid 6 months out of this. Okay.
I have 14 creatives in mine. I
You're
guess
gonna,
that.
you're going to be good for a while. You're going to be good for a while. And then what you do is you create another ad set and you're going to pull those 3, the ones that are getting majority of the line share, they're going to go into that ad set. And that's going to be your scaling ad set.
Okay. Okay, there's the winners into scaling.
Yep. And then what you're also going to do is you're going to create 3 more ad sets, just like the first 3. Literally the exact same. The only difference is that instead of all the 30 creators in there, you're going to pull out the winners and you're going to replace them with 3 other ones.
Okay, so just to clarify that, create 3 more ad sets. I'm going to fill them full of another 20, 25 creatives.
The exact same ones, though.
Okay.
Exact same ones. You're just going to replace the 3 that you took out.
Okay.
And so basically what happens is this. So basically, if we think about step one, you have a campaign, you have 3 ad sets, you have literally what you're experiencing right now. You throw in 30 creatives, 3 get the lion's share. Awesome. That's basically Facebook saying, hey, we think that these are your bangers. Okay, great. Because Facebook, you're telling us these are bangers. Phase 2 is we have a dedicated ad set to just those creatives, which is what you wrote down, right? That's phase 2. And you just slowly incrementally increase the budget on that ad set.
Okay.
Are you following me so far? Do you want me to create like a visual for you?
Visual would help a lot because I'm trying to take all of it down. I'm like, this might be easier as a visual.
I got you.
Appreciate you, bro.
No worries.
It just helps me keep my thoughts organized.
Okay. So this is phase 1. Phase 1, you have a campaign, ad set 1, ad set 2, ad set 3, and then you have your 30 ads in here, your 30 ads in here, 30 ads in here. Okay. Now what's going to happen is literally where you're at right now, where you notice like a certain line share, right? So let's just go ahead and draw, because it's still going to be within the same campaign. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have this other ad set. This is going to be ad set 4. And in there, you're just going to have your 3 winners. The psychology behind this is that Facebook is telling us, hey, these are your 3 winners. These are your 3 winners. These are your 3 winners. They keep winning over and over again. So what we want to do is we want to have a dedicated ad set where we have those 3 winners, and then you can scale this. This is going to be your scaling ad set. So you can scale the budget in this. You can scale the budget in this one.
Okay. I'm curious on the campaign. Is this like, is it the campaign level distributing budget or is it the ad set level distributing budget? So do you have an ad set going like 20, 20, 20?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I figured, but I want to make sure I'm being 100% clear. And then the last one, ad set 4. You're just ramping up as it's
You're
going
just
in there.
yeah. Honestly, dude, you're good here. Like you will probably be good here. You probably don't need anything more. But let's just say theoretically you want to keep going, right? You want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you again. What you would then do is you would come in here, you would create another three ad sets. And then in each of these, so this is going to be ad set 5, ad set 6, ad set 7. You're going to have all those ads in there, but you're going to have 3 new ones. And so the psychology here is this. Again, campaign ad set, you've already experienced this. You have a line share that goes out. Cool. Facebook, we understand these are the winners. You create another ad set, put the winners in there, scale that. But what you want to make sure you do is, so let's say you didn't put 3 new creatives in this one. Ad set 5, 6, 7. What's going to happen is that there's another 3 ads in there that are going to spend a lot of money because the winners have been pulled out.
Okay.
Right? Because you pulled out the winners, right? These 3 ad sets do not have these 3 winners in there. Another 3 ads are going to spend more money. But what we want to do is we don't want to let Facebook do that. We don't want Facebook to know like, oh, I want you to go to my backup option. No, what we want to do is we want to put 3 new ads in there, 3 new creatives in there, and we say, Facebook, I want you to duke out the old guys with the new guys and see if the new guys can beat out the old guys.
Okay.
That's the psychology behind. That's why we put 3 new ads in there.
So let's say that Kashik, we're seeing an, I mean, ad set 1, we have the Cameron Mitchell Yapper video is crushing it, right? That's the definitive winner among the 3 ad sets. And damn, everyone's want to call me right now. So when I move that across to that ad set 4, am I mocking that targeting and everything too?
Exactly.
Okay, so in that ad set, well, okay, then my next question comes down to, let's say I had the winner out of ad set 1, ad set 3, and let's say I had a winner from each one. What do I do in that position where I've got like 3 different kinds of targeting?
The reality is that all of them are going to have the same winner. Most likely they're all going to have the same from what I have seen. So let's say again, you have
Okay,
ad set 1, ad
that
set
that
2.
that answers a lot for me.
So the reality is this, I actually simplified it too much. The truth is that it's going to be ad set 5 and 6. Because ad set 1 is the open targeting, ad set 2 is the lookalike audience, ad set 3 is the interest stack, right? And then what we're doing is we're pulling the winners out of that to ad set 4, but this is going to have its own targeting. Ad set 5, ad set 6 is going to have its own. One is going to be interest stack, one is going to be lookalike, one is going to be open.
And we're just mocking what we did exactly in ad set 1, 2, and 3.
In terms of targeting. In terms of targeting, yeah, you're mocking that, but then in terms of the creatives, it's your winners.
Yep, makes total sense.
So
I can visualize that.
yeah. And so honestly, this is all you need to hit probably your goals. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take you to the next level so that a year down the road, you don't run into this issue. And the way you would do that is again, you would have 3 more ad sets and you're basically doing everything all over again. You're repeating everything all over again.
And would you mix in some like photo creative and stuff in there too, or do you think that doesn't really matter for a video offer?
Honestly, that I don't have the answer for. I don't know what's going to work best. Like for me, for example, I recently did this and I got a lion's share to go to my photo ad and Facebook screwed that up. Usually Facebook doesn't screw it up, but Facebook screwed it up with me where it was giving the lion's share to my image ad, but my videos are the one that convert. I don't know. So I don't have that answer for you. If it were me, the way I like to think, I mean, I don't know if that guy gave you like a framework for creating these ads.
Yep.
Did he? Okay. I think I have it written down here somewhere.
Yeah, I thought my notes were extreme. Bro, you're an animal. I love it.
I can't find it right now. I'll message you, but like I think it was like you create ads based off of like the outcome that they want, the circumstance that they're in, and then there's a third one. And so uh I'll find it there. I'll find the video for you and I'll try to send it to you if I don't respond to you in Slack, just message me and I'll try to send you a good video in terms of like how to think about creating these Andromeda updates. But
the way it was is like, let's just say this is the thing you're selling, which is again your video offer. What you want to do is you want to think about all the reasons for them to want to buy it. So again, I don't know if your buddy told you this. That's what I was told in terms of how to think about this. And then in terms of each of the reasons, so let's just say you think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Then each of the videos you have like outcome, circumstance, and then I forget what the other one was. So let's just say, okay, video. Why do you want to do this video offer? Okay, the reason is, hey, you want to be everywhere all at once and take up the market share. Okay, cool. That's this reason. Okay, what is the outcome? Hey, that's the outcome. Circumstance. Hey, right now you're not everywhere, whatever. Your competitors are being everywhere, whatever. And so again, you have a reason and you have two different types of messaging here. And then this one could be like, what is the reason? Hey, I want to make more money. So the outcome is you want to make more money. Circumstance, you're currently in a position where it's up and down money, whatever. I want to, again, make more money. I'm not doing the best job here, but this is just like how we thought about the framework of creating the ads. This way we have a bunch of variety.
Okay. So again, it's outcome, circumstance. What's the last one again? The X?
I forget off the top of my head. That's why I have to have a look and then I can get back to you.
Okay, that's one we don't know.
So step one is you figure out the product. Step two is you think about the different reasons. And again, you want to pick however many you want to pick. I would stick to something like, 5 reasons. And then you have outcome, circumstance, this. And then now, boom, you have 3 pieces of content for this one, 3 piece, 3 piece, 3 piece, 3 piece. Now you got your 20 ads.
Okay.
Versus again, that's what I was taught. But then there are other people that are like saying like, oh, polished videos, yapper videos, this videos. I guess that could work as well. But from what I'm hearing, it's like you really want to do it this way. You want to think about the reasons, and then you want to have like 3 different formats, and that's what's working really well for Andromeda. That's from what I'm hearing.
Okay. Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. No, it's been very, very helpful. And it's funny because he does do something similar where like what he'll do is he'll test out this mass market of ads under the Andromeda like I'm doing. He'll take his big 3 and he'll move them into his power player ad set that he will scale. So that makes actually a lot of sense.
He must be in the same mastermind I'm in. So.
No, this dude, the funny thing is this guy is like he's super nice. I think he just literally was a million monkeys hitting on the typing board and figured this out.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't think this is anything like they say in the course, but I just kind of went in and Jimmy rigged it myself. Like I've had the full call if you want me to like send it to you or something to analyze.
I can have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you the Fathom, but like, or do you prefer Loom? Which do you prefer? I have both, I think. No, I think about Fathom. Let's do that. I can't remember, but yeah. So no, this all makes sense. So, I mean, let me ask you this then, Kashif. So
my big thing to this, Jacob. Every time I ask you about KPIs, I hear I don't have them. Figure that out for life. I got figure some way out.
Well, I've got the DM KPIs. It's just like they haven't been tracked to the fullest extent where ad spends in there properly and everything else.
You got to figure that out, man. Because otherwise, you're gonna. Because again, I'm in the dark where I don't know. Where you say, hey, I'm booking a call a day. Who's qualified? Who's not qualified? Like Cole Gordon has a really good training. If you want to search up Cole Gordon, Ravi Abubala talk about this. Where like every single call they have a way to like measure them. So it's like within this income to this income, they're yellow. They're on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 5, and then depending how long they've been on a scale of 1 to 10, like boom. And then now you average out those numbers, and that tells you how good that lead is. You have to have some kind of an objective way to know these kinds of things. That is something I would highly recommend that you look into.
Yeah, well, the guy I'm working with is a data analyst, so that's one of the big things he's trying to help me figure out, do a lot better too. So that's good on the DM side. He's got that. He's helping all of us dial that in a little bit more. I was trying to think. So I guess my next question for you, if I can ask one, is
yeah,
like, when do I look at this and have enough numbers, do you feel like, to be like, okay, now it's time to move these top 3 out of this ad set into like the winning ad set? I mean, I don't have it set up exactly like we have it. here right now? I mean, would you shut off what I'm doing and then kind of just build these three ad sets, or
Honestly, if whatever you're doing is like fruitful for you, like don't break it if it ain't broken. Um,
okay?
yeah, don't
But
break.
would you at least do the moving of the three into the new ad set for the winners or whatever? And when would you have say there's enough numbers to really make that decision? I'm only 3 days into this right now, testing this new style.
I don't have that answer for you. I was never taught that. That's not something that we went over, so I don't have that answer for you. Probably like I don't know, like what's your I'm gonna ask you another question, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be I hope you have an answer. What is your cost per qualified call? So if you were to be able to tell me like, hey, Kaushik, here's how much I'm spending for a qualified call, and let's just say you had like 10 qualified calls, like, dude, that's probably a good enough amount,
Yeah.
right? Because if you have 10 qualified calls, you should close maybe two of those people. It's like, okay, cool. These are my winners. These are definitely working. Let's go and put them into another ad set and scale these.
Okay. Well, I haven't even gotten to that
Yeah.
stage yet of understanding this data.
Yeah. Probably
So
too late. Probably it probably won't be for like another month, man. Like how much are you spending right now?
50 a day on this set.
Yeah, it'll probably be by the end of the month, man.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Um, is there anything you think I should have asked that I didn't?
No, I'm just glad that it's working. I'm just
Yeah.
glad it's working. Yeah. No, I think that uh there's
Well, I
there's
always say this, it's very early in, so on a working is like, hey, is it better than what it was doing? Yes, but is it fully doing what it like it was back in the day? Hard to say just yet. It's just so early on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I want to be truthful with it too.
Um no, it's my so the reason I gave you the three steps was like, okay, let's try this and let's try this, let's try this. And it was just like, let's just see which one we have momentum with. And so you already have momentum with this one. So let's just ride it out. Let's just keep going. Clearly, there doesn't seem to be an issue. So there's not
Okay.
really more to ask or wonder about or be neurotic about. Let's take the thing that's working, put some more money behind it before we say yes or no to it. That's it.
Okay.
And
Sounds good to me.
figure out how to clean up your data. Because we can't make a decision without that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what else you got for me, man? Questions, comments, concerns?
Um, no, not really.
Okay.
Um, is there anything? Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for now. If anything else comes to me, I'll send you a DM in Slack.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, I in terms of Stuart and Jacob, you guys pairing together, I kind of came into this with the mindset that, Stuart, you were maybe going to use the follower funnel to grow your business and then do it for other people. I don't know. It seems like maybe, I don't know, like that'll probably be a little bit, maybe a month or a few months down the road. It seems like based off of our conversation today. But Jacob's here and, you can check out Jacob's ads and what he's doing, like everything that he's doing. Like, so his ads, again, he was having some issues. And so right now this is like the solution to fixing that. So this does apply to you if and when you're ready for that stuff, Stuart.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. You guys can talk out loud, Stuart, if there's something you wanted to share or talk about, or go back and forth with Jacob on or something.
No, no, I'm good right now. I'm just trying to absorb it all. I was trying to look up certain things, like as you were talking to, like what's this, what's that, get caught
Yeah.
up on some of the tools.
Yeah. Like the Facebook, in terms of Facebook, like the Andromeda and stuff, or
Yeah, Andromeda, Yapper, what all the different things you'd mentioned and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, I'm
yeah.
curious.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, Jacob, if that's everything, I'm gonna hang out with Aiden and see what he's up to, what he needs help with. And by the way, Stuart, Jacob, actually, it might be cool to hear from Aiden because Aiden, whenever we say Andromeda, he says Andromeda from Andromeda. He doesn't believe in any of it.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to hear Aiden's thoughts.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Let's go,
Aiden,
Aiden.
Aiden, what's going on, man? We were talking about Andromeda stuff. Are you still not a believer of Andromeda?
Yeah, man, just spooky ghost stories for sitting around a campfire, pretty much. Um, I don't know. Just from my experience, it's like what they're telling us is that we need to do as much different kinds of creative as possible. But I can literally take the same ad and duplicate it, 20 times at once, or like after they start puttering out and still have that same ad crush it for months and months. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't buy it,
Yeah.
but
Jacob, just so you know, and Stuart, so you know what Aiden does, and this is the craziest thing I've heard. He has one campaign, and then he has three ad sets. They're literally identical, and then each of the ad sets has like three or four ads in it, which are the same. So it's like imagine 15 ads that are the exact same. That's all he's doing, and it works. So, but
yeah. Yeah, I like to try to find like a winning ad set and winning ad first, but as soon as I have those, yep, it is duplication time. So, yep. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just that's what's working for us is horizontal scaling, I think is what they call it. So,
dude, if it's working for you, just keep doing it, man. If it makes
I
sense.
will say I will say like refreshing creative helps when there is fatigue. Um, but like seriously, when you have an ad that works, you're able to get a lot of good use out of it for a long time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, dude, if as long as you guys all win, like whatever works for you guys, cool. And I still have to test out the Andromeda stuff. But I've seen some good stuff from it, Aiden. I really have. I don't know if you were listening to like what I just shared in terms of the breakdown. That's something I recently got out of Mastermind. If you want to go back, but like that seems to be crushing. Like the ad fatigue is like you launch a campaign, you don't have to touch that crap for like 6 months. Nope,
Sweet,
turning
dude.
it on and off or anything. So that's what I was breaking
Yeah,
down.
I'm gonna check that out, dude. I love that.
It's like one campaign, ABO campaign, three ad sets. One of them is open, one of them is interest stacking, one of them is look-like stack. And then in each of them, you throw in 30 ads, and then three of them are going to get the lion's share. And then once you figure out those three that are getting the lion's share, you create an ad set that's a scaling one, and you throw those ads in here, and you can scale this one up. And that in itself, you're going to have 6 month longevity. But then what you want to do, if you want to repeat this, you basically create another ad set, another three ad sets, and then those you take the exact same ads, you put them back in there, but you replace the three that you took out. And so that's what these guys are doing. Um,
Cool. That's really cool.
yeah. So, hey, look into it, man. But
I like it.
no, dude. So, what's up? What are we talking about?
Yeah, not a well, I say not a whole lot. Yeah, dude, things are busier than ever. We onboarded a ton of new clients over the last few weeks, and so I've just been swamped, helping maintain clients' results, and then setting up these other guys. It's really nice. We're looking like we're going to do really well this month, or we are going to do well this month, like better than we have in a while. Um, but yeah, basically just yeah, I'm so freaking busy. And then baby's on the way, so we got a baby coming on Wednesday. So I'm gonna be up till like probably 3 a.m. tonight. You know, trying to button stuff up before that happens. But yeah, still working on selling. Oh, dude, some interesting stuff. So still working on selling some custom builders. I need to go back and review some of the notes that we had from, there's like a couple calls that we talked about sales calls with me. Because I'm still doing like sales calls with custom builders and they're going really well. Just for some of them, it's just like if I, the little bit that we talked about, if I could work on that, then I feel like I could get them to cross the finish line. But they're still going really well. We brought on that sales guy that we had. We brought him on full time, and so we're doing custom home leads and kitchen remodel leads for him at the same time. But then I saw, your guys' stuff about the low ticket funnel, and I don't know. I have a swipe file that I was, going to try to use just to test it out, which I still might, I guess. I guess I want to hear your thoughts, but um, yeah, I don't know how much extra time I will have with, you know, doing that, I suppose, but I still want to. And so basically I want to know what I should be doing for that so that I can give it to Tenny to help me build and help me, ride it out and things like that.
Yeah. So in terms of like the custom builder call funnel and the guy that you brought on, I know you told me the last time that he closed that one deal. Has he been closing or has he not been closing? One, has he been closing? How much have you guys spent on that, like that funnel?
Yeah, so I'd say we spent, let me see if I can actually find it. So I closed a deal for 3K and they're recurring at 2.5K a month. Um, and so I'm pretty sure with his campaign, we've at least broken even. Um,
Cool.
and yeah, the reason why we were able to kind of coax him into coming in full time, or my business partner was able to get him to come on full time, is because he had another full time job that was kind of keeping him from being able to focus on this 100%, obviously. And so he hasn't been closing like a ton other than that. And so it's literally been our main bottleneck. We sat down, we looked at everything, and it's like literally it's just appointments. Like we're getting leads, we know how to get leads, we know how to get qualified leads even, and we know how to get them to respond, we know how to get them to book calls. It's just that we need to
How many sales calls comped on?
I need to have a weekly KPI sheet for this shit. Um,
If
yeah.
you had to guess, like what I'm getting at is like, has he had like 10 sales calls and he's closed one? What I'm trying to get is like, is there a bottleneck or is like he just needs to have more calls? Like if he's had like 20 sales calls and he's only closed one, like yeah, there's an issue. But if he's had like 10 sales calls, he's closed one, maybe there's another one around the horizon, or like maybe he's had only five sales calls. I'd say, oh, if he's only had five, then yeah, no, there's he needs to just spend more money, he has to just do way more. And probably not do like three calls and maybe just do like one or two.
Yeah, exactly. I would say to my estimate, I would say probably closer to five, maybe
Oh,
six.
that's not
And
okay.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it probably would be more if he did not do like three calls, right? Probably be
right.
more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So basically, so when it comes to the Midas Media side, I know you're talking about the low ticket for you, right? When it comes to the Midas Media side and the call funnel, are you taking calls for Midas Media and like what he's doing, or are you like talking about the call, like taking calls for yourself?
it's for Midas Media.
Okay. So basically, you've been taking calls for Midas Media, he's been taking calls for Midas Media. And then, how many sales? So he's done about five sales calls. How many have you done?
Um, all in all, I'd probably say like about 10. And that's where I've closed one. I collected like total from those guys, I collected probably 3K in revenue, excluding ad spend that I charged them. And so at the time that campaign paid for itself. Um,
Basically, you guys have had a total of 16 sales calls and closed two within Midas with the call fund. Okay, not too shabby. So you guys have how many? You guys have made back 6K. How much have you guys spent on that?
yes. So
That's not bad. So you guys are cooking.
so wow, I can't believe that. That's crazy. This year we've spent about 3K a year to date.
Okay, cool. Okay. So when it comes to Midas Media, then, I mean, do you guys have questions? Or are you guys good? I know you're asking about the low ticket for you, but like,
Well, actually, I'm asking for the low ticket for Midas a little bit. Yeah.
okay, why? If it's working, if you guys are profitable, why?
I just like the stuff that you guys were talking about and the things that Jorge was saying, like really piqued my interest. Where it's like it would be so nice to be able to talk to people that have already seen some like specific content and videos, which I'm actually kind of working on some VSL videos to kind of like try to pre-sell the leads. But like it sounds like a whole different conversation than talking to these call funnel leads. I don't know. Yeah, you would probably know better.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole. I mean, Stuart just experienced. What was your experience getting over here, Stuart? How did you feel about the sales process?
It was good. It was good. I think overall is just getting used to the longer sale cycle of it, I guess, the uh being patient with it, and but I also appreciated like it didn't feel you never came across as like you're trying to just beat it into my head to just buy now, or something like that. So it felt good.
How did, so I guess like what is the difference between your experience versus like going through a call funnel? I think that's kind of, so the reason I bring this up is like Aiden is like he's got a call funnel, he's profitable, and he's just like, hey Kushik, I'm thinking about doing the low ticket thing that you're doing. Um, is there anything top of mind that you're like your experience was different with the low ticket with this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not sure if this is where you're getting at with it, but I think I'm already pretty warmed up as far as like, what I want, so it felt like there was less probably resistance in my mind to what you were going to offer. And then, yeah, I didn't feel like, well, you still had a discovery process and everything. It didn't feel like I was, it just felt more organic, it felt like a more natural conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think, yeah, with a call funnel, there's so much you have to engineer and there's so much you have to do, and it feels a little bit weird versus like you just have a lot more patience with people with this.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, Aiden, if you want to do it, man, again, I'm happy to like write the script out. Like that's all you need. Like with Jorge, that's literally all we needed. You don't actually need the course material and all that stuff. Like, don't worry about that right now. All you need is the ad, the counter, like that. That's it. So I can just script it out and send, or like what I'll do is I'll send you my scripts and then you take those scripts and then you can plug into ChatGPT or whatever and then get back to me and be like, hey, Kushi, this is what I'm thinking based off of this. And then I can tweak it from there and then you guys will be off to it. And then at that point, just film it, launch, assuming we're getting cost per acquisition from 50 bucks to 100 bucks, it works. Then we can start working on creating, course material and all that stuff.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
That's it. Dude, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Send me a script. That'd be great, and I can start adapting that.
Okay. And then I would just say the simplest thing to do is just like offer a course. That's what it would be instead of like a PDF or whatever, just offer a course. But yeah, that's it, man. And yeah, I think the benefit of it, man, is like it allows it's all those things that I said inside Slack. I mean, Jorge, I wish he was here. He had to bounce, but he said it's been really good for him. He had one sales call, he closed one sales call, like 100% conversion rate. Um, you know, so yeah, he's feeling good about it. And he like the person that he closed him for, again, even that person he closed him for, he wouldn't have closed to a sales call, a regular call funnel. Didn't have the most amount of money, and so we got him in, doing a reactivation campaign, collect the pay in full within 30 days. So yeah. I feel like I'm rambling. Questions, comments, concerns, Aiden?
No, no. I think that's what we need. Like, I don't know.
But what about you? What are you gonna do for you then?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Uh, Basically, what Marin and I have been doing is running wedding photography ads. I'm behind enough in wedding videos that I'm like, wedding videos don't exist as a service for us anymore. So it's just photos. So, anyways, and I'm going to be picking up like photography jobs for her for weddings while she's doing the baby. Um, and so, yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing for us.
Why not use the low ticket funnel for yourself?
I'd be willing to. And so maybe I can do that for, a niche in like for Midas Media. And actually that's good because my business partner was wanting to start opening up to other types of contractors as well. So that's kind of perfect. And then I can start working on that for, other yeah, something else.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember based off our conversation, your goal was like I need to hit a certain income level and then I can kind of go off and do my own thing. So it's like why not just use this to do that? Um, you know,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a good question. I I don't know. I was very, very bitter and resentful, when I was going through that. And I still kind of am. Sometimes I'm like, holy shit, my clients are paying me how much and I get how much. So that does flare up, but I'm, being patient. I'm biding my time. I'm building my skills in different niches a little bit now. It's like we've got a bunch of remodelers and now we're dipping our toes in HVAC. things like
Part
that.
of it is part of it like the recent closes, like that, you guys had more closes and cash flow is maybe good. Is that part of it, or is that not part of it? The reason.
That's definitely part of it. Yeah, like we're going to be, you know, cash flow positive. We're going to be making some money this month. Um, the honestly, dude, like the biggest reason why, I haven't broken off and done my own thing already is just because the separation from my business partner would be like I just am horrified of having that conversation. I feel like it would be super, super messy, in any and every way you can think about it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a level of discomfort and pain that I'm not willing to go through right now, I guess. So
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, but like I guess still building stuff up on the side is something that I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So
Yeah, there's, get the low tick up and running, you'll see how it works, and then you'll be like, okay, cool, I know how it works. And then when you're ready to make it work for yourself, you have the ability to do that.
yeah, and that's like something we've talked about before is like using Midas Media and the resources it has and is able to provide to my advantage, where it's like, maybe I can't, maybe I don't necessarily want to pay $1,000 of ad spend a month, but like Midas can do that for me right now. So then I can just take what I learned from that and then spend 300 or 500 and get the same results, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I get it. It's all good. I was just checking in. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right or wrong. I just try and get a temp check for where you're at, man.
Yeah, no, that's good. I thought about that actually again the other day. I forget what happened, but it's been a while since I thought about that. But,
Cool.
yeah, doing good. Just things are so freaking busy.
Yeah, man.
Um,
I don't want to. Yeah, you got a kid, so I don't want to keep you because I know. I don't know. Actually, I don't got no kids, but I would assume it's you're maybe a little bit you got a lot of thoughts going on, so I don't want to keep you unless there's other things you want to go over, man.
no, just send me that script over. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. I'd
Okay,
love to see it.
cool, cool. Guys, anything else anybody wants to go over? Stuart, Ronnie, Jacob?
I think I'm set for the moment.
Okay, Stuart.
The value, appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm good for the moment as well.
Okay. All right. Well, Stuart, I hope you enjoyed your first coaching call. I hope we did not scare you away. I hope that it is what I described to you, and yeah, hope you got value and enjoyed it. But okay, I will see you hooligans next week.